Live on a Monday night at Utah Grizzlies hockey, as it's a final game of a six-game road trip as the Grizzlies take on the Orlando Solar Bears. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. Utah's been a hot team over the last week as they've won 3 in a row, and they've got a standing point in 4 straight games. It's the last game of a 6-game road trip for the Grizzlies, and during the next segment, we'll recap each of the first 5 games of the trip. It started by losing 2 games against the Rapid City Rush. But the Grizzlies, once they hit the Eastern time zone, really have found their stride as they won at Greenville last Wednesday by a 4-3 score. And then last Friday, they defeated Savannah 6-3. And yesterday afternoon, the Grizzlies got a 4-1 victory over the Orlando Solar Bears as Orlando scored 3:29 into the contest. Then the Grizzlies scored 4 unanswered and cruised to a 4-1 victory. But it wasn't without a lot of physical play, as there was 140 combined penalty minutes in the last 4 minutes and 25 seconds of regulation. Orlando is going to be without their top goal scorer, Ross Olson, as he's serving a 1-game suspension. And it'll be interesting to see if the Grizzlies and Solar Bears play a little bit physical in the second and final season meeting between the clubs. Utah has been outstanding over the last 3 games. They've outscored their opponents 14-7 during the 3-game winning streak. Goaltender Lucas Preek has won each of his last 3 starts, but it's going to be the Salt Lake City native, Garrett Metcalf. He'll be in net tonight going up against Garrett Sparks, who's got 40 games of NHL experience, and Sparks won a Calder Cup in the AHL with the Toronto Marlies back in 2018. Sparks, an outstanding goaltender. It was Jimmy Pareda yesterday and Garrett Sparks today, as the Grizzlies take on the Orlando Solar Bears in the last of a 2-game series. And the Grizzlies captain, Connor McDonald's been outstanding during this 3-game winning streak. He's a +6 for the Grizzlies over his last 3 games. So it should be an interesting one, as it's President's Day, and it's a night game over in Orlando. And don't forget, the Grizzlies will return to Amway Center for a 3-game series against the Allen Americans. Next home game for the Grizzlies will be on Wednesday night. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off. It's going to be a Bud Light College night with discounted student tickets. And don't forget, Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company, is going to be on Friday and Saturday night. Well, we're in business on a Monday evening as Utah Grizzlies take on the Orlando Solar Bears. And when we return to the Grizzlies pregame report, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott, we'll go over the lineups for both teams, and we'll also recap the first 5 games of this road trip. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick 6 or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies pregame report, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face off in about 15 minutes. They're just showing one fan after another chugging beer on the Flow Sports feed, and it's certainly interesting to see. Everybody's actually got their beer in their hand, just waiting to be shown on the video board as that guy's chugging a beer. He looks like a rookie, though. He looks like an amateur chugging the beer. It looks like it's a bit of a struggle. I put a lot of it on his shirt. Looks like we'll see a lot of fans chugging beers over at Amway Center. We'll probably see more people chug beer than we will actually see action on the ice, according to what we saw yesterday. But for the Grizzlies, the road trip started with 2 straight losses. They lost 7-1 to the Rapid City Rush. Johnny Walker scored Utah's lone goal on the power play that night. Utah was 1 for 4 on the power play. Rapid City was 3 for 6. And the Grizzlies lost by 6. 7-1 was the score on February 10th, and that started the 6-game road trip. And then the following night in Rapid City, the Grizzlies got a standing point. They lost 4-3. Andrew Nelson had 1 goal and 1 assist for the Grizzlies, and Brandon Cutler had 2 assists. But I think the Grizzlies really found their stride in the third period on Saturday, February 11th. And, the Grizzlies had 38 shots, and the Grizzlies really performed well on the power play, going 2 for 8. And so even though the Grizzlies lost in overtime, it felt like they gained a little bit of momentum heading into the Eastern time zone. And then this past Wednesday, the Grizzlies won 4-3 against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits as Cameron Wright scored 2 goals. Cam Strong had 1 goal and 1 assist, and Connor McDonald and Dakota Raby each had 2 assists. McDonald was a +3 for the Grizzlies that night as Utah defeated Greenville 4-3. This past Friday on February 17th, the Grizzlies defeated the Savannah Ghost Pirates 6-3 as Cameron Wright scored 2 more goals, and Dylan Fitz had a Gordie Howe hat trick with 1 goal, 2 assists, and a fight. And James Scher was a +4 for the Grizzlies as Utah got the victory 6-3. Utah outscored Savannah 6-0 in 5-on-5 play. And yesterday, the Grizzlies defeated the Orlando Solar Bears 4-1 as Taron Pfizer had 2 goals, Andrew Nilsson had 2 assists, and Lucas Preek stopped 35 of 38. Nilsson, Bartley, and Tyler Penner were each a +2 for the Grizzlies. In Orlando, you think about they got off to an early lead with a power play goal 3:29 into the contest. Then Utah scored 4 unanswered. The game featured 160 penalty minutes, with 140 of them coming in the last 4 minutes and 25 seconds of regulation. So could it get physical? Could it get extremely physical? It might, as it's the final meeting between the clubs this season. Second and final game of the series over at Amway Center. And if you think about the revenge game for Dylan Fitz, he had 1 assist in his return to Orlando. He played in 129 games with the Solar Bears over a 3-year stretch. And for the Grizzlies, Fitz had an assist last night, and he's one of 5 Grizzlies skaters to have 10 or more goals this season. So it's the Grizzlies and the Solar Bears. And when we return to the Utah Grizzlies pregame report, we'll give you the starting lineups for both teams. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out here at the lobby at Maverick Center as the Grizzlies are 2 time zones away over in warm Amway Center in Orlando. It's really more the outside area that's warm, as it's about, 80 degrees over in Orlando. Meanwhile, the Salt Lake Valley is going to get hit with a big-time snowstorm over the next couple days. Remember, the Grizzlies will be home this upcoming Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday for a 3-game series against the Allen Americans. And don't forget that Allen and Utah are the top 2 penalty minute teams in the league. And so it could be ultra physical this weekend when the Grizzlies take on the Allen Americans. And Orlando's a pretty physical team as they lead the league with 35 major penalties. Let's get to the starting lineups for both teams here in the final game of the 6-game road trip. First, for the visiting Utah Grizzlies, who have outscored opponents 11-1 in 5-on-5 play over the last 3 games. They are led by head coach and general manager Ryan Kanaswich, and his assistant is the Sandy, Utah native Jared Pike. Starting in net is the Salt Lake City native Garrett Metcalf, who's 6'4" and 190 pounds. He's 7-3 this season with a 3.76 goals against average and an .890 save percentage. Metcalf earlier this season played in 5 games with the AHL San Diego Ghouls, and before that was in training camp with the AHL's Calgary Wranglers. So Garrett Metcalf will get the start in net wearing number 39. His backup is Lucas Preek, who has won 3 straight starts for the Grizzlies, and Lucas has a record of 7-8. The starting defensive pairing, the captain, Connor McDonald, who's a +6 in his last 3 games. McDonald has 2 goals and 9 assists in 42 games. He'll be paired up with Aaron Tho. Tho wearing number 28. He's got 2 goals and 6 assists in 43 games. Utah's riding with 7 defensemen tonight. The starters are McDonald and Tho. We will also see James Shearer, who picked up 1 assist yesterday in the 4-1 victory. Shearer was a +4 for the Grizzlies against Savannah on February 17th, and he was also a +1 yesterday against Orlando. Shearer will be wearing number 10. Bryson Martin, number 14, will be in the lineup. He's got 6 points in 35 games. He'll wear number 14. Kyle Pouncey wearing number 23. He's got 1 goal and 6 assists in 43 games. Victor Bartley returned to the Grizzlies lineup yesterday after missing 4 straight games as he was on paternity leave, and congratulations to the Bartley family, as Victor has 9 points in 33 games. He is 6 feet and 213 pounds. And Andrew Nilsson, who's been about as hot as any Grizzly out there, he is tied for the team lead with 38 points this season. He's got 29 assists. We talk about how hot Andrew Nilsson has been as of late. He leads the Grizzlies with 11 multiple-point games, and he's got a point in 9 of his last 12 games. And you think about that 12-game stretch, he's got 14 points in his last 12 games, 5 goals and 9 assists. So Andrew Nilsson will be in there wearing number 44. Starting defensive pairing once again is McDonald and Tho. We also see Shearer, Martin, Pouncey, Bartley, and Nilsson. Starting forwards for the Grizzlies, yesterday's number 1 star, Taryn Fizer, who had 2 goals. He'll be in the starting lineup for the Grizzlies. Fizer has 29 points in 38 games, 15 goals and 14 assists. He is 5'11" and 176 pounds. It's his first full season as a pro. He played in the WHL with the Victoria Royals the last few seasons. Dylan Fitz is making his second appearance over in Orlando. As remember, he was a member of the Solar Bears for 3 years, and he played in 129 games with Orlando before being traded to the Grizzlies from Orlando on March 24th of 2022. Fitz had 1 assist last night and had 7 shots on goal. Dylan this season has 10 goals and 10 assists in 48 games. And the Grizzlies Ironman, Tyler Penner, has 8 goals and 7 assists this year. In fact, Fitz and Penner are the 2 Grizzlies Ironmen, as this is Utah's 49th game this season, and Fitz and Penner have played in them all. So starting forward pairing once again is Fizer, Fitz, and Penner. We will also see Keaton Jamison, the Grizzlies lineup. He's got 8 goals and 10 assists in 47 games. Cameron Wright's been about as hot as any Grizzly. He's got 7 points in his last 4 games. He's got 6 goals and 1 assist. He's got a 4-game point scoring streak, and he's been the hottest of all the Grizzlies here on the road trip. So watch out for Cameron Wright. He'll be wearing number 15. He is tied for the league lead with 7 game-winning goals this season. So he's been a clutch performer for Ryan Kanasowicz's crew. We'll also see Dakota Raby, who's got 4 assists in his last 3 games. Raby missed the first 5 games of February as he was dealing with an injury. And over the last 3 games, he's been outstanding, and he's been a key piece as to why the Grizzlies are on a 3-game winning streak. So Raby will be wearing number 23 for the Grizzlies. We'll also see Christian Simeone, whose parents are in attendance. I think Greg Simeone was at yesterday's game over in Orlando, and his family, as Christian Simeone's got some family over there in Orlando, as he's really a Massachusetts native, and he played his college hockey at Merrimack College. Simeone got in a fight with 4 seconds left in regulation yesterday. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist in 30 games. Vladislav Mikalchuk's played pretty well. Remember, he returned to the Grizzlies lineup on Wednesday after missing 12 straight games, and he's got 1 goal and 1 assist in his last 3 games. Mikalchuk has 4 goals this season, 3 of them in a Grizzlies uniform. He started the season playing 12 games with Adirondack, and it'll be his 19th appearance with the Grizzlies. Mikalchuk will be wearing number 25, and he'll be lined up next to Cam Strong. Strong's got 13 points in 46 games. He's been outstanding on the road trip. Remember, he had 1 goal and 1 assist over in Greenville this past Wednesday in the first game of the Grizzlies' 3-game winning streak. The Rooster, Jordan Martell, wearing number 27. He has 6 goals and 16 assists in 40 games. He'll be wearing number 27. So the starting forwards again are Fizer, Fitz, and Penner. We will also see Jamison, Wright, Raby, along with Simeone, Mikalchuk, Strong, and the Rooster, Jordan Martell. Now for the homestanding Orlando Solar Bears, led by first-year head coach Matt Karkner. His assistant is Ben Holmstrom. The Solar Bears have a record of 24, 21, 6-1. They are 12, 9-3 over at Amway Center. Starting in net is Garrett Sparks, and he's got an interesting resume, as Sparks was the starting goaltender for the 2018 Calder Cup champion Toronto Marlies in the AHL. He's got 175 games of AHL experience, where he has a .907 career save percentage in that league with a 2.34 goals against average. Well, Sparks has also played in 38 NHL games in his career. He's got a record. He's got a 3.11 goals against average and this got to be a typo, a .939 save percentage in the NHL. I don't think it's quite that much, but he's been outstanding in his pro hockey career. He's got NHL experience with the Toronto Maple Leafs, where his best year was in the 2018-2019 season, where he played in 20 games. They had a 3.15 goals against average and a .902 save percentage and a record of 8-9-1. Also has some NHL experience with the Vegas Golden Knights and the LA Kings. So Garrett Sparks will be in net for Orlando. He is 6'3" and 220 pounds. He was recently signed by the Solar Bears to a standard player contract. He previously played with Orlando for 2 seasons back in 2014 and 2015. So Garrett Sparks will get the start in net for Orlando. And the starting defensive pairing for the Solar Bears, Chris Harper, wearing number 4. He'll be one defenseman. He spells his last name Harpur. In 52 games this year, he's got 1 goal and 5 assists and a +2 rating. He'll be lined up next to Michael Brodzinski, who's been one of the best scoring defensemen in the league. In fact, he's 4th in the league with 39 points, 4th in the league among defensemen, that is. 6 goals and 33 assists in 52 games. He's a -16 this year. So starting defensive pairing is Harper and Brodzinski. Starting forwards, Braden Guy, who has 18 points in 39 games. He has 6 feet and 190 pounds. Tristan Langen is in his 4th season with Orlando. He's got a record, he's got 13 goals and 28 assists in 52 games and a -15 rating. And Maxim Čekovic, Čakovic. He's from Slovakia, which is the same country that Vladislav Mikalchuk's from. He's got 6 goals and 16 assists in 27 games this year. Their leading goal scorer, Ross Olson, is out due to a 1-game suspension, as there was a lot of penalty minutes in the final 5 minutes of play, and Ross Olson must have done a little bit extra to earn a 1-game suspension. So he is out of the Orlando lineup this evening. Garrett Sparks, would be interesting to see him in net. He's got a .908 save percentage with Orlando this year, and he's got NHL experience with 3 different clubs. He's got a record of 4-0-2 with Orlando with a 2.93 goals against average. Both teams are pretty similar on their special teams. Utah's power play is 19.4%. Orlando's is 19.3%. Orlando's penalty kill this year is 76.7%. The Grizzlies' PK unit is 79.5%. Now, the Grizzlies' penalty kill has struggled over the last 3 games, despite the Grizzlies winning all 3. The Grizzlies have 167 successful penalty kills this year. And remember, every successful penalty kill from now until the rest of the regular season is presented by Utah Disaster Cleanup. UDK is the #1 provider of disaster cleanup services in Utah since 1974. We've been there for customers when they need us the most. That's Utah Disaster Cleanup. Make sure to make your picks for the Optum first goal of the game. Stu is going to be the first goal scorer for the Grizzlies. On Friday night, it was Dylan Fitz scoring 14 seconds in. On Sunday, it was Taryn Fizer who lit the lamp on the power play about halfway through the first period. Remember, with Optum Healthcare, we're creating a healthier world, one insight, one connection, one person at a time. Optum is committed to making healthcare work better, leading the way to better experiences, better health, and lower costs for you. So make sure to make your pick for the Optum first goal of the game on the live chat on the Utah Grizzlies YouTube channel, which is the audio channel of the Grizzlies. And remember, the Grizzlies game will be on Flow Sports, our homes for Grizzlies hockey all season long. When we come back, we'll face off over in Orlando. It's the Grizzlies and the Solar Bears coming up next on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
It's a great night for hockey. It's two big standings points are on the line tonight as the Grizzlies take on the Orlando Solar Bears for the second and final time this season. I'm Tyson Whiting. Hopefully it'll be a good night for two standings points for the Grizzlies. They have a winning streak of 3. They hope to end the winning streak on the road trip on the right note as the Grizzlies are 5-4-1 in their last 10 games. Tyler Penner will take the draw for the Grizzlies as Utah will skate from left to right. As we see it on Flow Sports, your mind's eye, see it on YouTube. Taking the draw for Orlando is Tristan Langen. As a draw won by Utah as Taryn Fizer feeds it up top to the Grizzlies defensive pairing of Tho and McDonald. McDonald gets the puck along the near boards, gets it back to Fizer as we're underway. Taken away by Orlando. Neutral zone draw. Neutral zone shot saved by Metcalf. And Garrett holds on as we get our first whistle 12 seconds into the game. Maxim Chekovich took that shot for Orlando just outside the Grizzlies' blue line. Chekovich has 6 goals and 10 assists in 27 games. As it draws over in the left circle, Penner and Orlando's Langen. Langen wins the draw. Brodzinski left side shot. It's blocked by Penner. Penner flexes his wrist as the puck's still in the Grizzlies zone. As Orlando skates towards the left side, feeds it to the right, picked off by Dylan Fitz. Fitz, the former Solar Bear, throws it to his left. Grizzlies gather it as they skate across the offensive line and towards the corners. Tho gets hit. Now the puck glides from one corner to the other. Orlando skates over there. They overskate it. Fitz throws it up top for Shearer. Shearer over to Tho. Tho with a lefty shot. Save. Rebound shot off. Fitz fanned on the second attempt as Garrett Sparks made the first save. As Orlando out to neutralize, so bounce it off of Fitz. Jamison in the area as it rolls back to Orlando as Langen crosses center ice and he chips it in. As the Solar Bears make their first line change of the game, James Shearer, the former Brandon Wheat King, delivers a hit as Orlando has the puck in the offensive zone. Solar Bears skating from right to left during the first period. They'll throw it up to the right point. Righty shot, and it gets blocked away. Metcalf, I think, got a piece of it as it rolls back towards the high slot. Orlando keeps it in. Jimmy Mazza, righty shot, and it's blocked in the right circle as it goes back over to Raby, and it kicks out to center ice. Utah gets hit by Mazza, the former Worcester Railer, in his 53rd game this season. Out to center ice, Tyler Bird will throw it back into the Solar Bears zone. Orlando will chip it over to MacArthur. Bennett's his first name. He'll throw it to the left side as the Solar Bears skate towards the corner. Nilsson delivers a hit, and the puck ends up sailing out of play, I believe, as we get a whistle with 18:26 left in the first. Andrew Nilsson's really familiar with the Orlando goaltender, Garrett Sparks. That looks like a penalty. Tyler Bird's going to the, that's the bench. The bench area is on the near side over at Amway Center, and that's usually where the penalty box is. So I thought Bird was skating to the penalty box. He's just skating to the bench. So we'll skate 5-on-5. A minute and a half into the game, drawing the Grizzlies zone. It's won by Orlando. As Bryson Martin holds up Jaden DeRue, who's a good hockey player. He's got an NHL entry-level deal at Tampa Bay. He'll throw it to the right point. Shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound shot saved by Metcalf again. Orlando skates around the net. They'll throw it up top for Dmitry Samikin. He'll feed it towards the middle. Utah picks it off and gets it out to center ice. The Grizzly got his stick broken, and they'll skate to the bench, and the Rooster gets a new stick from the equipment manager, Mason Wayland. Grizzlies have it deep in their own end as Victor Bartley pitches ahead. Orlando picks it off. They re-enter the zone from the right side. Solar Bears trying to find a cutting DeRue in the slot, and Utah picks it off. They'll throw it out to center ice, and Utah dumps it in as Grizz make a line change. 17:43 and counting left in the first, still no score. Orlando gains center ice, and they'll cross over the blue line as the Solar Bears over to the left circle, being challenged by Fitz. They'll feed it around the net as Orlando chips it across to Brodzinski. He's in the left circle. Take a shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes out to the near corner. Grizzlies will lift it out to center ice. 2-on-1 potentially. Pfizer racing after the puck, but Orlando gets there first and clears it back out to center. Now the Solar Bears back in their own zone as Chris Harper moves it ahead out to the right side. Orlando in the offensive zone as they try to take it away. Now Orlando around the net as the Solar Bears out to the left circle as Brandon McCarra with a shot that goes wide. Now right point. Another shot gets kicked away as Grizzlies throw it towards the left point of their own zone as Utah battles along the boards. Penner over there. McDonald delivers a hit as it goes back to Victor Bartley. Bartley gets hit but moves it out to the near corner for McDonald. Connor feeds rink-wide pass out to the left side. Now the Grizzlies lifting out to center ice. Penner trying to get the bouncing puck. He gets it onside on the right side. As Penner near the boards gets pushed, he feeds it back to the corner. Fitz chasing after it, but Orlando's got the puck as the Solar Bears skate from right to left as they direct it out to center ice. Solar Bears move it in as Shearer chases after it. He'll throw it back to the far side for Nilsson. Now Orlando takes it away as the Solar Bears feed it back to the corner. Nilsson takes it away as he gets hit by Langen. And now it goes back to Nilsson. He'll bouncing off the Solar Bear. Goes deeper into the Grizzlies zone. Now towards the end wall as Nilsson bouncing off the Solar Bear. Orlando shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes out to Utah as Dylan Fitz tried to gain center ice and dump it in. It didn't cross center ice, but Orlando took it away as Langen, who's been active so far, skates towards the far side. And he'll roll it around the boards, cut off behind Utah's net by Kyle Pouncey. Now Bryson Martin will direct it ahead. Now the Grizzlies throw it towards the middle for Jamison. Will feed a right wing pass. It connects to Cameron Wright. Wright skates down the middle and gets spun around and loses the puck. As it goes back to Bennett MacArthur, number 28. MacArthur out towards center ice as he'll throw it towards the high slots, taken by Tyler Bird. Bird gets back checked and loses the puck as Cameron Wright gets spun around. Now feed it to the near side for Penner. Penner crosses center ice right wing, and he'll throw it to the left corner. Taken back by Brodzinski. Will throw it across to Harper. Will get it out to neutral ice. It goes past everybody. Utah chasing after it. Is it going to be icing? Pouncey gets the puck. No icing as Pouncey back behind Utah's net. We'll get it across looking for Cam Strong, but it goes past him. Now Strong gets the puck in the left wing. He's got great speed. Strong skates into the offensive zone. Centers it to Raby. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Sparks. Rebound goes out to the near side for Orlando. 3-on-2. Solar Bears with speed. They'll skate towards the left circle. Feed it back to Cross. Oh, they tried to feed the middle. And number 24, Matthew Foguet, wasn't expecting the puck. As Michalchuk from neutral ice dumps it in as it rolls towards the right corner. Now Orlando chips it back to the right point. McDonald keeps it. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Sparks. Rebound goes out to Orlando as the Solar Bears will lift it out to center ice. Rolling puck, Orlando gets it. And Grant mismatch centers it. Orlando with a shot. Saved by Metcalf as the puck ended up in front of the net. Orlando's shot is deflected away by Garrett Metcalf as the Grizzlies move it ahead. Martell crosses center ice and they'll dump it in as it bounces on the ice. Martell chases after it. He'll feed it from one corner to the other. Regathered by the Solar Bears. Orlando crosses center ice. They're playing fast tonight. They'll skate towards the right side. They'll take a shot. And that one goes wide on the righty blast as it bounced off the glass. Now Orlando around the net. They try to feed it out in front. And Guy gets spun around. Now he takes a shot. Saved by Metcalf. As Martell will bouncing off the glass, it goes to Penner at center ice. Penner gets blasted at the Orlando blue line. He'll chase after it as he breaks free. Penner gets pushed along the end wall as Penner gets hit once again. Third time in this shift he's been hit. Now Fitz feeds it to the right side for Nilsson. Nilsson surveys. Now throw it across to Pfizer. He bounces off the boards. Pfizer gets it. Now Penner out in front. Shot saved by Sparks. Rebound goes out to Orlando. They clear it out to center ice. Sure, gets to Nilsson, who will move it ahead to the left wing. Orlando sneaks in a line change. Grizzlies dump it in. Orlando chases after it behind Garrett Sparks' net. Yesterday it was Jimmy Pareda. Now Pfizer takes it left side. Shot saved by Sparks. Pfizer gets the rebound, skates around the net, drops it off for Tho, overskated it. Now Tho gets the puck, and he'll throw it to the corner, and he'll chase after it, but it's gathered by Dmitry Samikin. Now the Solar Bears move it ahead to center ice. Orlando chips it towards number 44, Luke Boca. Grizzlies poke it back into Solar Bears territory. Orlando sets up as they'll feed it out to center ice in the right wing. Now they'll throw it down the middle for Tyler Bird. Bird gets it, he chases over to the right circle. He'll take a shot, saved by Metcalf as rebound rolls towards the near boards. Tyler Bird chips it across as Dylan Fitz gathers the puck. Fitz, very familiar with the Amway Center ice, will lift it high into the air, bounces near Cameron Wright. He gets knocked down as he was trying to accept the puck. This goes back to Orlando. Solar Bears cross center ice. And Jaden DeRuse, maybe the fastest Solar Bear, gets it poked away at the Utah blue line. Grizzlies ice it as the arm is raised by the referee as there's 12:40 left in the first period, and still no score. And this game's had a lot of action. You can tell Orlando's a lot more assertive here this evening than they were at any point in the game yesterday. As obviously the Grizzlies won 4-1 against them, and the Solar Bears look like they want revenge, but they don't necessarily want it physically. They want to show it on the scoreboard. So pretty fun action in the first 7.5 minutes of play. As the Grizzlies win the draw, they're in their own end. As Victor Bartley will feed it to the left side for Raby. Raby's about as fast as any Grizzly. Maybe Cam Strong's just as fast. Raby to the right side, skates towards the circle. Now he chips it out in front to Jamison. Backhand shot. Saved by Sparks. Rebound out in front. Grizzlies bouncing off the end boards. Now they get it out in front to Raby. Left side, he'll move it towards Nilsson. Left side shot. Saved by Sparks. And after the whistle, Michael Brzezinski throws down Cameron Wright. And Jamison over there in the area. As Wright was just near Garrett Sparks. Sparks and Nilsson know each other pretty well as they won a Calder Cup together with the Toronto Marlies back in 2018. We're back in 30 seconds as there's no score between the Grizzlies and Solar Bears. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott. 12 minutes, 17 seconds left in the first period. We've seen a ton of action here early on. Both teams have 6 shots. 6 different Grizzlies have 1 shot. The only player on either side that has more than 1 shot is Jaden Daru, who has 2 shots on goal. He's got an NHL entry-level deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So you can tell the action's pretty fast here as the Grizzlies take on Orlando. Both teams had 36 shots yesterday. Orlando takes 31.5 per game. The Grizzlies averaged 28.9 shots per contest. Draws at neutral ice near the Orlando bench, which is on the near side as we see it on the screen. Grizzlies are on the left side of center ice. That's where their bench is on the near side. Grizzlies win the draw. They'll throw it back to Andrew Nilsson. As Nilsson will feed it back to Connor McDonald. Now back to Bartley. It's actually Bartley and not Nilsson. He'll throw a left wing pass to Jamison, who dumps it in. Well, I thought Jamison got a piece of it, but it looks like the Grizzlies are called for icing with 12:05 left in the first. So the draw comes back towards Garrett Metcalf, the Salt Lake City native, who struggled a little bit in his last couple times out, but Metcalf is off to a good start. He's listed at 6'4". He might even be taller than that. He might even be like 6'5" or 6'6", the former Anaheim draft pick. Jamison will take the draw against Tristan Langen, who's been very busy here so far. Orlando wins the draw. Slot shot goes wide. Now it's taken by Braden Guy. He'll feed it back to the corner as Orlando will skate over Chechovich. Throws it to the right side. Righty shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound out in front. And it goes to Langen. He wasn't in any shooting angle, so throw it up top for Moz. He'll take a shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound out in front. Squirts towards the high slot. Orlando gathers it. Solar Bears feed it to the right circle. Righty shot. Saved by Metcalf. And he holds on this time with 11 minutes, 37 seconds left in the first. And some pushing and shoving after the whistle as the Grizzlies really doing a good job. In particular, McDonald and Bartley out in front as Keaton Jamison looks like Dakota Raby got spun around and he wants to go after Tristan Langen. They've seen a couple of those skirmishes. After all, there was 160 combined penalty minutes between the clubs. And most of that really, you think about the only 2 skirmishes we've had here so far, and both of them have just been out in front of the net. And you really expect that, especially since it looks like both goaltenders so far have allowed quite a few rebounds. So I think both teams know that, they're facing goaltenders that might be fighting the puck a little bit, and they know they could probably get a cheap one there to get the first goal of the game. And the first goal is certainly important for the Grizzlies. They're 14-3 when scoring first this season. Draws on the right side of the Grizzlies zone. Last game of the 6-game trip. Grizzlies will be home for 3 games later this week. Orlando wins the draw, right side, one-timer, and it gets blocked. Puck rolls along the boards in the near side, taken by Orlando. Lefty shot. Glove saved by Metcalf. That was taken by Dmitry Semikin, who's got 1 goal in 33 games this year. As Garrett displaying a good glove as he makes the save on the Semikin shot. Draw will stay in the Grizzlies zone with 11 minutes, 27 seconds left in the first. Utah Grizzlies hockey brought to you by America First Credit Union. Don't forget this upcoming Friday will be an AFCU Friday where tickets start just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Amway Center box office. Draw one by the Solar Bears. They'll skate towards the right circle. Now they feed it across. Picked off by Nilsson. Andrew skates down the middle. Now he'll throw it to the right side for Pfizer. He gets it off the boards. Pfizer skates to the right circle. Take a shot. And it goes wide. He tried to go glove side on Garrett Sparks. Now to the right side. It bounced off a Penner who will skate to the corner to get it. Back to the right point. Now Utah chips it back to the corner where Penner's standing. Penner gets hit by Mismash, and he gets held by Mismash along the boards as Pfizer feeds it towards the far side. Grizzlies left wing shot saved by Sparks. Rebound shot. Oh, I don't know how that didn't go in as Pfizer is diving towards the puck that was loose in the crease. Now Sure gets over to the left side. Left wing shot. And that one goes wide as puck ends up kicked towards the corner. Orlando back deep in their own zone, trying to clear it out. Now the Solar Bears will get it over to Mismash. He'll feed it to his right. Now the Solar Bears gain the line 3-on-4. Orlando gets it across, but Jaden DeRue couldn't reach it. Pfizer along the near boards. He had 2 goals yesterday and was the game's #1 star. He'll feed it across. We got a whistle. And it looked like Pfizer got held up, and yes, he got hooked. It's going to be a penalty on the Solar Bears. The Grizzlies are going to the power play for the first time tonight with 10:25 left in the first. We're not sure who's in the box for Orlando, but they're in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Have you or someone you know been charged with a DUI? Rogers and Russell is Utah's DUI defense firm. Consequences for driving under the influence in Utah are serious, and you need great attorneys on your first line. Look for a letter in the mail from Rogers and Russell inviting you to schedule a free consultation. Don't throw away or disregard this letter. Call and get Utah's #1 DUI defense team. Rogers and Russell. Utah's on the power play. Somebody broke a hockey rule as Bryson Martin throws to the right side. It's taken away by Tyler Bird. Orlando crosses center ice. Now they gain the line. Solar Bears towards the left side, get bounced off the boards by Martin as Martin skates towards the corner. Now Utah gets the puck, and they skate the other way. As Utah skating from left to right as we see it on Flow Sports. Your mind's eye see it on YouTube. Grizz feed it to Martell on the right side. He crosses center ice and loses the puck. Braden Guy will lift the puck as it bounces in the Grizzlies zone and ricochets off the right wing boards. Bryson Martin gets it. So feed it to the far side. We're not sure who's in the box for Orlando or what rule they broke, but the Grizzlies are on the power play. Martell throws it across. It bounces off a Solar Bear in the slot, and that's Braden Guy. He'll lift it over the head of Martell as it rolls towards Metcalf. Grizzlies make a line change as Andrew Nilsson enters the ice. Nilsson's been unbelievable on the power play. He's got 24 power play points, 6 goals, and 18 assists. Now move it to Pfizer. Terran crosses center ice. He'll throw it to his left as Cameron Wright enters the zone. He'll skate towards the corner. Now back towards Raby. It chips out to center ice and past the Orlando center ice logo. Nilsson gathers the puck. 9:16 and counting left in the first. Nilsson chips it across. As it neutralizes Cameron Wright, he'll move it to his right for Jamison. Jamison between his legs for Wright. Wright skates towards right circle, swings and fans on it as it rolls towards Sparks. Now Orlando gathers it right side. Pfizer keeps it in the high slot. He'll chip it to his left for Nilsson. Now to right, back up top for Nilsson. Across to Pfizer, over to Wright. Right in the left side, feeds it to the far goal line for Jamison. Jamison over in the far corner, gets it to Wright. Wright late in the power play over to Nilsson, but the puck bounced over his stick. Grizzlies will have to reset at their blue line as Pfizer gets it. He'll feed it to the left side for Nilsson. Nilsson steps over the blue line, drops off for Wright. Now across to Raby on the right side. Raby chips over to Pfizer. One-timer, and it goes wide. Puck glides along the left wing boards as Nilsson over to Pfizer. Now to the high slot for Raby. He'll chip it across to Wright. Wright trying to get it back to Nilsson, but it got taken away by Mismash as Orlando's out of the box and Utah's 0 for 1 on the power play. Big collision at the Utah blue line as Orlando skates towards the slot. Raby takes it away. He tried to move it ahead, and Orlando picked it up. Boca feeds it across to Chekovic. Now he gets it up top for Harper. Now to the right side. Orlando with a righty shot, and it goes wide as they try to go stick side on Metcalf as Cameron Wright will pitchfork it out to center ice, gathered by the Solar Bears. As there's an even 8 minutes left in the first period, we get a whistle as they stop play. As looks like the draw is going to be at neutral ice. And we have a timeout. There's 8 minutes left in the first period. No score between the Grizzlies and Solar Bears. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott. The penalty Orlando committed, Jaden Drew, 2 minutes for hooking, 9:35 into the first period. Utah had a couple good looks, but didn't score on the power play. Back after this, there's no score with 8 minutes left in the first on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. Even 8 minutes are left in the first period. No score. Orlando has outshot Utah 11-8. 8 different Grizzlies have one shot. Jaden Daru, Maxim Chenkovich, and Jimmy Mosley each have 2 shots for the Solar Bears. Draws at neutral ice as it's won by Orlando. Big time hit delivered by the Grizzlies. Aaron Tho as Jordan Martell back in his own zone, feeds it across the Grizzlies captain Connor McDonald, who moves it ahead. Grizzlies cross center. Cam Strong chips it in. He chases after it with amazing speed. Strong gets the puck now over to Michalchuk, who's around the net. He'll feed it to the left side now across to McDonald. Connor with a righty shot. Saved by Sparks. 7:37 left in the first, and the Grizzlies really moving along as Michalchuk, Simeone, and Strong had a really good forward shift. And for the Grizzlies, this might be a really high shot count on both sides. Utah's up to 9 shots already, and Orlando has taken 11. As draw's going to be in the Orlando zone. Garrett Sparks has played in 38 NHL games. He's got NHL experience with the Toronto Maple Leafs, Vegas Golden Knights, and one other club. I think it's the LA Kings last year. As Orlando wins the draw, they skate from right to left. As the Solar Bears chip it out the center, goes past Braden Guy, onto the captain, Connor McDonald. He's a +6 over his last 3 games. All of them Utah wins. Utah moves it ahead, looking for Simeone. Did he get a piece of it? Yes, he did. No icing as Sparks feeds it to the near side for Guy and goes back to the right side. Speaking of which, we'll get Guy Karenza back on Wednesday, I believe. As the action in the Grizzlies zone now, left side. Guy centers it. One-timer goes wide. That was taken by Langen. Langen wearing number 23. Grizzlies moving out to the near side as the Grizz chip it to the left. It's gloved by Guy and dropped. He'll feed it to the left circle for Chenkovich. It bounces off of his stick and rolls towards the left side. Now Orlando feeds it to the middle. Braden Guy with a shot and it goes wide. Simeone spins along the far side. It hits a stanchion and rolls towards the slot where Penner gets the puck, and he'll feed it to the right side for Michalchuk. Michalchuk over to Penner. He'll take a backhand shot. Saved by Sparks. The Orlando defenseman who is trailing the play on Penner as Orlando hacks away on Penner, but he keeps his feet. Now the Solar Bears get the puck, and they'll lift it out to center ice. Looks like it's going to be icing on Orlando. But that was an interesting play as Penner had the puck, was skating down the middle, and then Orlando, the defenseman who was trailing Penner, his stick goes flying, and then Penner had really a grade A look near the crease. He took a backhand shot. Sparks made the save, and then the rebound went out to Orlando, who iced the puck. Got to imagine goals might be at a premium against Garrett Sparks, who just last season spent some games in the NHL. He's one of those guys you look at his resume and you try to figure out what he's doing in this league. Off the draw, high slot, Grizzlies with a shot and it goes wide. That was taken by Pfizer. Sparks might have gotten a piece of it with his stick as Orlando crosses center ice. They'll ricochet off the near boards. Orlando is offside as the whistle blows with 6:15 left in the first. As Bennett McCarthy, who's got 5 goals and 9 assists in 33 games, was offside. MacArthur currently has an NHL entry-level deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning as he signed with Tampa on March of 2022. There's a fan chugging a beer. They like to show that over in Orlando. That must just be a thing. Boy, he's chugging that beer pretty good. Oh, he finished that one easily. As action in the Grizzly zone to the left side, James Scherer delivers a big hit on Foguet as it goes towards the end wall and spins back to the right side as Utah gets hit in the corner. As the Grizz trying to get over to Pfizer. Orlando gathers it, high slot. They skate towards the right side. They chip it towards the middle. Grizzlies poke it back to the right side. Lefty shot, and it's blocked out in front of Metcalf. Now it goes to the right side. Orlando will get it to the left. Toe drag shot, saved by Metcalf. And Garrett holds on. His last shot was taken by Jaden Daru. Toe drag, nice look from the left circle, but Metcalf was able to make the save. And the big thing is Garrett didn't allow a second chance there as both Metcalf and Sparks allowed some rebounds there early in about the first 4 or 5 minutes of play. But it looks like both guys are doing a better job, really control their rebounds over the last few minutes. As both teams make a line change. Everybody having some fun. 5:43 left in the first period. And we'll be back in 30 seconds. No score on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Once he skates in right side, he'll take a right wing shot saved by Sparks. As it goes out to Bennett MacArthur, a lifting out to center ice. It bounces off of Jamison, rolls deeper in the Solar Bears zone. Cameron right in the near corner, feeds it across to Raby. As Raby avoids a check of Max Balance in number 8. Rolls to the left side. Jamison near the boards will bounce it off the Solar Bear. Now Orlando gets it. 3-on-3, they cross center ice and dump it in as it rolls towards Metcalf, who covers up with 5 minutes and 9 seconds left in the first. Still no score between the Grizzlies and Solar Bears. And now it looks like we got a timeout on the ice. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new Bean to Cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
No score, 5:09 left in the first. We're still looking for the Optum first goal of the game. With Optum, we are putting you at the center of everything we do. Optum is committed to making healthcare work better, leading the way to better experiences, better health, and lower costs for you. Back in 30 seconds as we are still scoreless, 5:09 left in the first on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
5:09 left in the first period. Still no score between the Grizzlies and Solar Bears. Orlando has outshot Utah 13-12. Connor McDonald and Taryn Fizer each have 2 shots to lead the way for the Grizzlies. Jaden Daru has 3 shots for Orlando. Chekovich and Mazza have 2 shots for the Solar Bears. As the Grizzlies win the face-off, Cameron right in his own zone will feed it across to Raby. Raby to the left side, stops in the corner as he's settled into the offensive zone as he gets double-teamed by Orlando and held up along the boards. Now the puck around Orlando's net as it spins to the near side. Braden Guy throws it between his legs. Now Langen crosses center ice. He'll gain the line as he stops in the left point, waits for everybody else to enter. Langen tries to chip it out in front to Guy. It bounced off of him and ricochets off the end wall. Grizzlies will ice the puck as the arm is raised by the linesman, and we get a whistle with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first. The referee tonight is John Lindner. The linesmen are Ross Cremaldi and Dan Fendius. 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 It's a different officiating crew than what we had yesterday. And quite frankly, John Lindner's a pretty good referee. He's better than the guy we had yesterday. So Lindner is doing a good job. He's letting the guys play. Only 1 penalty so far, and it's called on Orlando. As the draw is over on the left side, we'll do it over again. As Jamison kicked out of the circle, actually he'll still take the draw against Tristan Langen. 4:40 left in the first. The Orlando Solar Bears have a Tampa Bay Lightning logo on each side of their shoulder, as that's their NHL affiliate. Grizzlies affiliated with the Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche. Grizzlies win the draw. Cameron Wright throws it out to center ice. Now it rolls into the Solar Bears zone, but Orlando has the puck. They skate from right to left. In the first period, 4.5 minutes left in the first. Chris Harper moves it ahead. Solar Bears ricocheted around the boards as it wings towards the left side. As now towards center ice, but the Solar Bears either keep it in the zone. Langen over in the left in the near corner as they get pushed as the Solar Bears skate towards the left side. Now up top for Chris Harper. Harper will throw it towards the near corner as now Harper gets it back. He fires towards the net and it goes wide. Grizzlies will chip it out to center ice. Orlando gathers it back at their blue line as the Solar Bears will restart the attack as they'll throw it behind their net. Does Kakovic over towards Harper. Harper gets hit. Now goes back to Chekovic. He'll feed it now to the far side as Orlando crosses center ice. Solar Bears skate down the middle. Luke Boca. He'll take a shot. Saved by Metcalf. And Garrett holds on as Boca just skated down Broadway, entered the offensive zone, and fired a righty shot. But Metcalf made the save and didn't allow a rebound with 3:35 left in the first. So you can see Garrett Metcalf, and I think it was big for him to see some shots early. as he saw about 5 or 6 shots there in the first few minutes of play. And even though he allowed some rebounds, looks like he's really settled in, and he's played a pretty good first period. Draw won by Orlando. Still no score over to the high slot. Righty shot. And that one goes wide. Metcalf couldn't see it, but it goes towards the near corner as Martell feeds it ahead. Simeone crosses center ice. He'll backhand it deep in the Orlando zone as he'll chase after it. As Simeone collides with Max Ballinson behind Orlando's net. Solar Bears move it ahead as it ricochets off. A Solar Bear goes to Cam Strong. I tried to feed Martell, and Orlando picked it off. Solar Bears gain the offensive line. They skeet towards their left. As Orlando now on the left point, Tyler Bird chips it across, goes over Simeone. Now right side lefty shot. Saved by Metcalf, and Garrett holds on. 3:01 left in the first, as that shot was taken by Max Ballinson, who looks up to the heavens, and he's got 3 goals this season, but he wishes he picked up a 4th there. So it looks like good goaltending here in the first period. Metcalf for the Grizzlies and Garrett Sparks for Orlando. Fans having a good time over in Orlando. Looks like a pretty decent Monday night crowd. They had a crowd of over 5,900 yesterday. In the first of the 2-game series, Utah ended up winning 4-1. Off the drop, rolls towards Metcalf, and gets kicked away by Pouncey. Now centering pass, shot and a score. Well, I think the centering pass bounced off of Metcalf and ricocheted into the back of the net as everybody goes towards Matthew Foguet. But looks like the guy skating to the bench first is Jaden DeRue. As the puck went towards the end boards, Orlando centered it to Foguet, and he got it past Garrett Metcalf. It was a great pass from the end wall out in front of the net, and Orlando has drawn first blood here this evening. So Jaden DeRue picks up his 5th goal of the season. Matthew Foguet, who had Orlando's only goal yesterday, he gets his 19th assist of the season. 2:57 left in the first. Orlando has scored first for the 2nd straight game. Draws at center ice. Utah looking to tie it up here late in the first period. As the Grizz win the draw, they'll throw it back into their own zone. Now they'll chip it out to center ice. Orlando gets it in their own end. The Solar Bears feed it to the near side. They'll bounce it off the boards on the near side. It goes back to Utah. McDonald across to Bartley. Will move a blue line to blue line pass that ricocheted off of Penner's stick. Penner races down to get at the goal line. He'll chip it towards Pfizer. It hits off the end wall as Pfizer gets it to the left side. He'll skeet towards his right. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Sparks. Actually, Sparks was looking for the puck. It bounced off the end boards. Now it rolls towards Sparks from behind the goal line, and Sparks will cover up. As Pfizer had a pretty good look, but it rolled wide, and then Sparks looked like he was trying to locate the puck there, and then Orlando just kind of glided the puck towards him. On the Orlando goal, DeRue scored it with Foguet getting the assist. Time of goal, 17:03 into the first period. Grizz will have an offensive zone draw as there's 2:24 left. Orlando... You talk about a high shot count. That's what we got here so far. Orlando's taken 17 shots. Grizzlies have taken 12. Grizzlies won the draw. Out in front, Jamison shot saved by Sparks. Now puck goes back to Orlando. They cross center ice. Boca gains the line left side. He'll take a righty shot. And it goes wide by as he was trying to go glove side on Metcalf. Orlando feeds it across to the left. As the Solar Bears back in the left point. Harper chips to the corner. As Orlando feeds it across, but Nilsson picks it off. Less than 2 minutes left in the first. He glides it out to center ice as Raby trying to get it, but couldn't. Right skates over there, no icing. Raby glides towards the end wall. He collides with a Solar Bear. Orlando gets the puck as they skate from right to left. Solar Bears out at neutral ice. They'll gain center ice as they'll dump it in, and they'll hit Cam Strong. And it looked like they whacked Strong with the stick, but no call. As Grizzlies, Bryson Martin with a left wing pass out to the left side for Strong. He'll take a left wing shot. Saved by Sparks. And he holds on, and after the whistle, looks like Ballinson pushes Bryson Martin twice. Martin's got some words for Ballinson. 1 minute, 30 seconds left in the first period. As Bryson Martin, well, I hope he wasn't headed towards the penalty box there. It's about where it is over on the far side. As there's 1:30 left in the first. Orlando leads 1-0. Draw is going to be in the Orlando zone, I believe. Yep, it is. The Solar Bears win the face-off. Those close-ups are tough on a remote broadcast. Grizzlies chasing after it in their own zone over on the far side. Grizz get it. They'll feed it ahead as Orlando pushes it along the boards. As Tyler Bird will feed it towards the far goal line, taken by Bryson Martin. We get a whistle as there's a Grizzly that had lost his stick. An arm is raised by the referee. there's going to be a penalty. Who's it going to be on? Looks like it's going to be on the Grizzlies. And I don't think Aaron Tho can believe it, but looks like Tho's going to the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell, and Orlando's going to be on the power play for the first time tonight. Tho shakes his head as he can't believe it, as the call was made by referee John Lindner. 1 minute, 11 seconds left in the first. Orlando leads 1-0. The Solar Bears' only goal yesterday was scored on the power play. Utah's penalty kill was 2 for 3. Orlando's power play this season, 19.3%. Orlando wins the face-off. Brodzinski skates towards his right. Now he feeds it across to Mismash. He'll take a lefty shot, saved by Metcalf. Puck flies in the air, and it drops in the corner as Penner takes a seat on the ice. Jamison in the area, but it goes back over to Mismash. He skates towards the left point, chips it ahead. Now back up top for Brodzinski. Now Mismash over to Brodzinski. He's in the high slot. He'll skate towards his left. Now feed it across. Orlando gets to the far goal line as the Solar Bears survey. Now they'll throw it back to the right side as Orlando skates towards the right corner. They try to chip it out in front to Braden Guy. He couldn't handle it. Tyler Penner gets it and clears it out. 30 seconds left in the first period. Orlando's on the power play, and if they don't score late in the first period, then the power play will extend into the second period. Orlando right wing spins along the wall. Braden Guy gets blasted by Connor McDonald along the near boards. As it goes back out to Mismash, he couldn't handle it. Cam Wright gets tripped up. Is there going to be a penalty called? There's got to be. There's 10 seconds left in the period. Orlando touches the puck up, and we get a whistle. As Cameron Wright was skating towards center ice, he got tripped up, and play stopped when Orlando touched it up. So I believe the Solar Bears are going to the box and will skate 4-on-4, as yes, it is going to be a penalty as Maxime Chekovich is going to the box. I believe it's 2 minutes for tripping as Cameron Wright in his effort at neutralize drew the penalty. So it looks like we'll skate 4-on-4, and then after that, the Grizzlies will have a short power play. Looks like we might have exactly 1 minute of 4-on-4 time. 10 seconds are left in the first. They don't have the time of the penalty times on the score bug over in Orlando, so we just have to guess. Orlando crosses center ice, and Utah takes it away. McDonald thought about firing towards the net, but there was only 1 second as time runs out. And that'll do it for first period action over at Amway Center as Orlando leads 1-0 as Jaden DeRue scored his 5th of the year with Matthew Foguet getting the assist. 17:03 into the first as we'll skate 4-on-4 there to start. It looks like Cameron Wright's now in the penalty box. Well, not sure what Wright did, but Wright's now in the box as he joins Aaron Tho as they put 0.9 seconds back on the clock in the first period. So Wright's in the box, and so is Aaron Tho. So I thought we were going to skate 4-on-4, but it looks like Wright's now in the box, and we're going to skate 4-on-3. As a draw to the left side, less than 1 second left as time runs out. And that will do it for first period action as Cameron Wright picked up a penalty with 9/10 of a second left in the first period. Not sure what Wright did, but all we did, we just saw him in the box, but we didn't see an official signal or anything like that. So it looks like it'll be a 4-on-3 power play for Orlando to start the second period as they lead 1-0. When we come back, we'll see if the stat sheet will tell us what Wright did to earn a spot in the penalty box. We'll also recap the first period the best we can. As we're through 20 minutes over at Amway Center, I'm hanging out in the lobby at Maverick Center watching the thing on Flow Sports, and the Solar Bears lead the Grizzlies 1-0. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life. I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
First intermission over at Amway Center, and Orlando leads 1-0. The Solar Bears outshot the Grizzlies 18-14 in the first period, so it was a high shot volume on both sides. For Utah, Connor McDonald, Taryn Fizer each had 2 shots, and then Keaton Jamison also with 2 shots. So 3 Grizzlies had 2 shots in the first period, and then 8 others had 1 shot on goal. For Orlando, they led the way with Jaden Drew, who had 4 shots, and he scored Orlando's only goal, which was 17:03 into the first period. And it was really good play by the Solar Bears as the puck was along the end boards, deep in the Grizzlies zone, as Matthew Foguet, who scored Orlando's only goal yesterday, he centered it out in front to Jaden Drew, out in front of the crease, and Drew put it away for his 5th of the year. Jaden Drew's currently got an NHL entry-level deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he's been an impressive player in the 4 periods that the Solar Bears have faced the Grizzlies. He looks like he's got a ton of speed and playmaking ability. He's 5'11" and 171 pounds, so watch out for Jaden Drew in the future, as he could end up being quite the player. He's only 21 years old, a native of Saskatchewan, a 5th-round pick by the Tampa Bay Lightning back in 2020. He actually played with the Portland Winterhawks of the WHL. That's the same place that former Grizzly and Harriman, Utah native Mason Manick played. He played in the WHL with the Portland Winterhawks. So Drew picked up a big goal for Orlando as they scored first, as they lead 1-0. As the Solar Bears have outshot the Grizzlies 18-14. Let's see. We'll skate 4-on-3 with a power play going to the Solar Bears, as Drew picked up a hooking minor 9:35 into the first. Utah was unsuccessful on that power play, and that was when the score was. That's when there was no score in the game. And then Aaron Tho picked up a holding minor 18:49 into the first, and then a minute 1 later, Maxim Chekovich got a tripping minor, and the time of that penalty was 19:50 into the first. And so I thought we were going to skate 4-on-4 for a minute. And then Cameron Wright got a hooking minor 19:59 into the first. There was 0.9 seconds left on the clock when the whistle blew. I don't actually get to hear the whistle over in Orlando. We just have to guess sometimes. But Cameron Wright got a hooking minor 19:59 into the first, and must have been off the screen. I didn't see it, but I do know that the penalty called on Chekovich was a good penalty, and even the one on Aaron Tho I think might have been good. But nevertheless, it looks like we'll skate 4-on-3 for about a minute, or maybe about 50 seconds, and then Tho will come out of the box. So he'll come out of the box 49 seconds into the second period, and then about a minute later, then Chekovich will come out of the box. But the problem is when Tho comes out of the box, we'll just skate 4-on-4 as opposed to the Grizzlies having a power play. So for the first 49 seconds of the second period, looks like Orlando's going to have a 4-on-3 power play situation. But we talked about Orlando's goaltender and the resume that he's got. Garrett Sparks does have some NHL experience. He is currently 29 years old, and it's surprising that he was a free agent for as long as he was before Orlando picked him up. It's his second different stint with the Solar Bears. He actually played in 3 different seasons with Orlando. Back in 2014, he appeared in 10 games of the Solar Bears, and then he was in 36 games for the Solar Bears back in the 2014-2015 season, where he had a record of 21-7-3 with a .936 save percentage. His first NHL campaign was in the 2015-2016 season, where he appeared in 17 games with the Toronto Maple Leafs. and had a record of 6-9-1 with 3.02 goals against average and .893 save percentage. He also spent some time in 20 games with Toronto back in the 2018-2019 season, where he had a record of 8-9-1 and a .902 save percentage. He actually helped the Toronto Marlies of the AHL win a Calder Cup back in 2018, and he was a teammate of Andrew Nilsson that year, as Nilsson has a Calder Cup ring with Garrett Sparks. Sparks, a former 7th-round pick by the Toronto Maple Leafs back in 2011. And remember, Andrew Nilsson is a former 3rd-round pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that was back in 2015. So those guys know each other pretty well, Sparks of the Solar Bears and Nilsson of the Grizzlies. Sparks also played in one game with the Vegas Golden Knights back in the 2019-2020 season. And last year, he appeared in 2 games with the LA Kings, where he had a record of 1-0 with a 1.85 goals against average and a .938 save percentage. So it's surprising. I'm not sure. Maybe he was battling an injury or something, but I'm surprised that, for a guy that, played in a couple NHL games last year and looked like had a pretty respectable year in the AHL, that it took him this long for him to get a call. And for whatever reason, it's not a call in the NHL or AHL, considering his experience. He's playing with the Solar Bears. Might be one of those stories where he's playing with Orlando, but you look around going, what's this guy doing in this league? Because Garrett Sparks set himself quite the pro career, including a few games in the NHL. And that's one of those things that's going to last for him the rest of his life. Doesn't matter what he's doing, whether he's 40 years old or 50 years old, the rest of his life and beyond that, he can always say he's been an NHL player. That's what Victor Bartley can say, and that's what everybody on both sides, both the Grizzlies and Solar Bears, strive to be. They strive to get to that highest level, and so I imagine Garrett Sparks is one of those guys that everybody looks up to in the locker room because he's been where everybody wants to be. It's kind of like in the Grizzlies locker room with Victor Bartley. Everybody respects Bartley, and everybody really wants to, learn from Victor Bartley because Victor Bartley has been where everybody wants to go. He's been in the NHL, and you better believe that everybody on that Grizzlies roster wants to get to that highest level. And because of that, somebody like Victor Bartley can be quite the influence on the locker room, even if it's not by words, if it's by example, just with the hard work and the leadership, because everybody's going to watch everything that those guys do, the guys with NHL experience, because that's exactly what they want to be. And if they can pick up something that can improve their game, then they're certainly going to do that. And so you hear across the locker room, everybody respect Victor Bartley, and they know that they want to watch his every move. And I'm pretty sure for Orlando, you think about Jimmy Pareda, the other goaltender. He's watching everything Garrett Sparks does because, after all, Jimmy Pareda wants to get where Garrett Sparks has been, and that's to the NHL. And after all, it's not just players. I want to get to the NHL as well, and I'm trying to learn from NHL broadcasters the best I can and learn and listen to radio broadcasts. And really, that's why we're all here. That's why we're all at this level. And that's really what gets us up in the morning, is the thought and the dream of a better tomorrow. The thought that someday you might end up getting that call, and who knows, maybe you're broadcasting a game at Madison Square Garden or over in Toronto, or maybe you're going to LA and you're playing at whatever the name is, .com place that the LA Kings play in. That's what you want to do. You want to get to that level. And, it's really an inspiration when you see other ECHL broadcasters who have made that jump. I know I listened to a Florida Panthers game earlier today on the radio and heard Doug Plagans, who used to be the broadcaster of the Idaho Steelheads. And so, when you see a guy like Garrett Sparks in net, and really when you see Victor Bartley out there for the Grizzlies, those are the ones that everybody wants to be, because the rest of Victor Bartley's life and the rest of Garrett Sparks' life, he can always go around and say, I've been there and done that. I've played at the highest level. You can firsthand know what it's like to play against the best in the league. They know what it's like to, practice at the NHL level, everything that revolves around it. They know what it's like to travel, first class with an NHL team and everything like that. So those guys are very valuable to a locker room. And I know that Garrett Sparks, being in Orlando, is very valuable to their locker room, as he stopped all 14 Grizzly shots in the first period. And the reason why we got a little bit of a monologue is there's only one other game in the ECHL tonight, and that was Newfoundland and Reading. And that game has gone finals. It was played earlier today. Newfoundland over Reading 4-2. Former Grizzly Todd Skirving had 2 goals for Newfoundland. You'd have to be a really hardcore Grizzlies fan to remember Todd Skirving. He only played in a handful of games back in the 1 year the Grizzlies missed the playoffs back in the 2017-2018 campaign. I only played like 1 or 2 home games. And then he was quickly shipped off to another team. Skirving's been outstanding for Newfoundland as he picked up his 24th and 25th goals of the season. Former Grizzly Charlie Gerard had one of the 2 goals for the Reading Royals. Gerard's had an outstanding year with Reading as he has 23 goals this season. Newfoundland over Reading 4-2 the final score there. And it'll be interesting to see what happens for the Grizzlies. Nobody's playing tomorrow in the league. The Grizzlies will begin a 3-game series against the Allen Americans. We'll preview that upcoming set and all the fun stuff that's happening in and around Maverick Center for the 3-game series against the Allen Americans. We'll have second period action as once again the Orlando Solar Bears lead the Utah Grizzlies 1-0. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Orlando leads Utah by 1-0 score. Orlando will skate 4-on-3, and they'll have a power play for the first 49 seconds of the second period. As Grisby mentioned on Twitter, at Grisby, beer must be a lot cheaper in Orlando. No one in Utah is chugging a $15 beer. He might be right. Beer might be a little bit cheaper over in Orlando. That might be exactly it, as we've seen a ton of fans chugging beers over in Orlando. We saw that last year, but it was for good reason, as the Grizzlies were there last year for Pink Whitney night. In fact, it was one of those interesting things, and these remote broadcasts, you see some crazy stuff. We actually missed Orlando's second goal that particular night. It was in January. It was the first of the 2-game series between the Grizzlies and Orlando, but they had 3 days off in between. It's kind of funny. Kyle Pouncey actually said that was his favorite part last year, was having 3 days off in Orlando at late January of last season. I'm sure he enjoyed, having some time over in Florida, and he was able to make the trip. But, with Pink Whitney night, we actually missed Orlando's second goal live because they showed Paul Bissonnette chugging a beer, and while he was chugging a beer, Orlando had scored a goal. So you can see some crazy stuff on those video feeds. But Orlando leads 1-0. They outshot the Grizzlies 18-14 in the first period. As I think it's going to be interesting to see if the Grizzlies can find a way to respond and tie up the game. It was a very action-packed, high-paced first period. There was a lot of shots either way, and really Orlando looked a lot better in the first period than they did at any point in yesterday's game. So, if you're the Grizzlies, you just kind of have to find a way to respond. Utah did have their chances. Obviously, they're going up against an outstanding goaltender in Garrett Sparks. But I thought Garrett Metcalf, for the most part, played pretty well. I mean, the one goal Orlando scored, they really had to earn, as that was a really good play from out behind the net as they fed it out in front to an open Jaden DeRue, who scored with just under 3 minutes left in the first period. So it was a really good first frame on both sides. I thought Garrett Metcalf was solid. Both goaltenders allowed some rebounds there in the first 4 or 5 minutes of play. And because of that, we did see a couple skirmishes out in front as both teams wanted to battle for that real estate. And both teams wanted to take advantage next time a rebound was allowed. But I believe when you saw Metcalf and Sparks in the last, I'd say 12 or 13 minutes of the first period, they really did a good job not allowing any rebounds in any of those second chances. Looks like both teams are headed on the ice over in Orlando. The temperature is about 80 degrees over in the Sunshine State, and hopefully it's not going to snow as much as they say it's going to snow here in the Salt Lake Valley. What do they say, about 6 to 12 inches? That's going to be a lot of snow. So hopefully the Grizzlies can get here to the Salt Lake Valley in time before that snowstorm hits. And quite frankly, hope the Allen Americans can get to town before that snowstorm hits, because if it's going to snow as much as they say it's going to snow, that's going to be a mighty snowstorm here in the Salt Lake Valley over the next couple days. When we come back in 30 seconds, we'll have second period action as Orlando leads Utah 1-0 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Orlando leads 1-0. We'll have second period action in 30 seconds. Aaron Tho will be in the box for the first 49 seconds of the second period as Orlando will skate 4-on-3 with a power play. Maxim Kankovic will come out of the box 1 minute, 50 seconds into the second period. And then 9 seconds later, Cameron Wright will enter the ice and will return to 5-on-5 action. So you think about a 5-on-4 power play, but 4-on-3 might be just as dangerous, if not more, because there's less people on the ice, 2 less people than in a 5-on-4 power play. So watch out here early in the second period. Could be a good opportunity for Orlando to score a goal, but obviously with only 4 on the Orlando side, could be a good opportunity for the Grizzlies if they find the right opportunity to tie up the game. Utah wins the draw. Connor McDonald dumps it in as now skiing to the left side. Grizzlies with a shot, saved by Sparks. Zoe Sparks looked like he mishandled the puck for a little bit, and the Grizzlies had a golden opportunity. But Orlando comes back the other way. They still lead 1-0. Solar Bears over to the left side. They get it back up. The puck stays in the corner. Orlando around the net as they get hit by Connor McDonald. As the Solar Bears chip it across, as it rolls towards the far side. Chasing after it's Utah, but Orlando gets there first. Grizz get it and clear it out. Good job by the Grizzlies penalty kill unit. As Bryson Martins enters the ice, so is Tyler Penner and James Shearer. 4-on-3 power play is just about over as Tho will enter the ice here in a few seconds. As Orlando chips it towards the high slot now up top for Brodzinski. He'll skate towards his left. Tho is out of the box right now. We're skating 4-on-4. Now to the right side, lefty one-timer, and it goes wide. Tho enters the play as Orlando chips it across to Ballinson wearing number 8. They'll feed it to the right side now to the corner as Orlando will chip it back to Ballinson. He skated towards the corner, stops along the near boards, gets it to Brodzinski. 2 Solar Bears in the same area as Foguet fires towards the net, and it goes wide as Martin gets it. Bryson chips it towards Shearer, who's in front of Garrett Metcalf. Now back to Martin as Grizzlies play a game of keep away as Martin will throw it out to center ice for Raby. Raby crosses center. We're skating 4-on-4. Raby skates towards the left side, now around the net, and took a shot saved by Sparks. Now Penner feeds to the right point. Martin gets it across. It goes past Raby over to Martin. Back to Raby down the middle. He'll feed to the right side. Grizzlies looking for a shot saved by Sparks. Utah skates around the net. As Raby towards the boards loses it. As Orlando's got a guy coming out of the box here soon. Kankovic is out of the box as Orlando to the right side. Takes a lefty shot. Kick saved by Metcalf. That was taken by DeRue. Now we're skating 5-on-4 with Orlando having a power play for 9 seconds. As now Cameron Wright's out of the box right now. We're back to 5-on-5 skating. It was a successful penalty kill by the Grizzlies, presented by Utah Disaster Cleanup. UDK is the #1 provider of disaster cleanup services in Utah since 1974. We've been there for customers when they need us the most. That's Utah Disaster Cleanup. And even 2 minutes into the second period, Orlando leads 1-0. As good penalty kill by the Grizzlies. In fact, the Grizzlies might have had the best look, as looked like Garrett Sparks early in the second period mishandled the puck, and Grizzlies took a shot, and Sparks must have recovered to make the save. Jamison will take the draw against Luke Boca, who's got 16 points in 48 games. Off the draw, Grizzlies win it right with a shot in the left wing, and it's blocked. This goes back towards Jamison. Puck lifts high into the air, and looks like it goes out of play. 17:50 left in the second. I believe the Grizzlies are back on the power play, it looks like. As Utah's got their 5-man power play units set up, I think Utah is on the power play. But they didn't show who committed the penalty, what the referee's signal was as to what the penalty was, or anything like that. But it does look like Utah's on the power play, as Chris Harper got a slashing minor exactly 2 minutes into the second period. So Utah's on the power play. Orlando leads 1-0. As puck goes to the high slot, Tyler Bird gets it. He'll skate towards the left side, 2-on-4. Bird with the left wing shot, saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes towards the end boards as Raby will get to the far side for Pfizer, who will move it ahead. Grizzlies cross center. Cameron Wright gains the line, but gets the puck poked away by Mazza. Utah regathers the puck as they'll throw it back to Andrew Nilsson, who's in the Grizzlies zone, as Utah will start the attack. Nilsson trying to gain center ice, but instead chipped it back to Pfizer. Pfizer over to the right side as Orlando pretty much builds a wall at neutral ice. Pfizer down the middle. Now he gets to the Utah blue line and throws a left wing pass. Grizzlies enter the zone as they skate towards the corner. Wright gets spun around. Now Wright gets blasted along the end wall. As he feeds it across, it goes to the right point for Pfizer. Now up top for Nilsson. He'll feed it towards the middle for Raby. It goes between his legs and towards the end boards. As Raby chases after along the end wall, 2 Grizzlies, 2 Solar Bears over there. Now right to the near goal line, throws up top to Pfizer. Now to the right side for Raby. I try to feed Jamison out in front. The puck rolled towards Sparks. The Orlando goaltender covers up. 16:48 left in the second and 48 seconds left in Utah's power play. It took a little bit of time for the Grizzlies to get things set up, but once they did, they moved the puck around pretty well, found an opening out in front of the net. They're looking for Jamison out in front, but then the puck just kind of glided towards Sparks, who covered up. It looks like both teams will make a line change. Everybody having a good time. Let's see another beer being chugged. You bet. Oh, she's laughing. She couldn't chug the beer. She was laughing so hard as she saw herself on the video board. Now she starts chugging, but she's not on the video board anymore. As the drop is won by Orlando, and they'll spin it all the way back in the Grizzlies zone. Oh, Utah cut it off at neutral ice. As the Grizz made a line change in the last whistle, Jordan Martell gets it. He crosses center ice in the left wing, tried to dump it in, fanned on it. Now the puck rolls towards Orlando. They lift it in the air. It bounces in Grizzlies territory. Utah moves it back to neutral ice on the right side. Now left wing pass to Martin. Bryson dumps it in. Sparks stays in front of his net. 20 seconds left in the power play as Utah battles along the far boards. Now the Grizz get it across to Martin. He chips it off the boards. Martin gets it back as Martin feeds it to the near goal line. As the Grizz get it back to Martin as Bryson surveys. He'll throw it up top to Shearer. Shearer with a lefty shot. Saved by Sparks. Rebound goes out to the near side. Martell skates towards the corner. Power plays over. Left circle. Take a shot, and it's blocked. Now right wing shot. Saved by Sparks. And it looks like the Orlando goaltenders held on to it with 15 minutes and 51 seconds left in the second. So an unsuccessful power play for the Grizzlies as Orlando still leads 1-0. Draw's going to be in the Orlando zone. Solar Bears had 18 shots in the first period. Even though the Grizzlies didn't score on this power play, you hope that they at least get enough puck possession and a little bit of momentum that maybe it can lead to the game-tying goal. Last of a 6-game road trip as Utah's got a 3-game winning streak and a standing point in 4 straight. Draw won by the Grizzlies. McCallchuck around the net. He'll skate towards the near side. He played with Adirondack earlier this year. He'll throw it up top for Bartley, who feeds it across the Grizzlies captain, Connor McDonald. He'll take a right wing shot. Saved by Sparks. Rebound goes out to the left side. McCallchuck shot. Saved by Sparks again. And this time the Orlando goaltender holds on with 15:36 left in the second. Garrett Sparks sporting some long hair. In fact, you can see some of his hair coming out the back of his helmet. Well, after McDonald took the shot from the right side, the puck flew high into the air, bounced in the left circle. McCallchuck was able to locate it and get a grade A chance. And he was kind of hoping that Garrett Sparks didn't know where the puck bounced, but it looked like Sparks recovered and was able to make the save. Orlando allegedly wins the face-off on the left side as they skate back into the offensive zone. Solar Bears towards the near side. Chip it out in front. Solar Bears backhand shot. Saved by Metcalf. The centering pass connected to Maxim Chekovich. He took a backhand shot, and Metcalf made the save. And no rebound allowed as 15:23 is left in the second as we get another whistle. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Don't forget the Grizzlies will take on the Allen Americans 2 days from now. It's a Bud Light College night with discounted student tickets. Come on, chug that beer. He's just going to take a sip. Now he starts chugging. We are seeing the same feed that they show on the video board in Orlando, and they just show one fan chugging a beer after another. Orlando out to the high slot. Harper with a shot. And I believe Metcalf's made the save as Braden Guy was in the area. He took a seat near the crease. No, Orlando scored. Solar Bears score. As Chris Harper fired towards the net, Braden Guy was on the ice. We didn't see the puck actually go in the back of the net, but the Solar Bears have taken a 2-0 lead. I imagine they'll show a replay because the home team scored. Yep, Harper fired towards the net, and looked like Metcalf was in the area with Braden Guy. Guy went down as Metcalf was over towards the mouth of the crease. He was over towards the front of it. So Guy collided with Metcalf, but it looked like Guy was the one that went down, and somehow the puck trickled in the back of the net. And Chris Harper, the defenseman, skated to the bench first, which makes me think that he has scored his second of the season. More fans chugging beer over in Orlando as the Solar Bears pumped another one past Garrett Metcalf. It's a 2-0 game. They're going to look this over. They're going to see if there's goaltender interference. Referee comes out and he signals good goal. It was a quick review. They were looking to see if there was goaltender interference as there was some contact between Braden Guy and the Grizzlies goaltender Garrett Metcalf. But the goal counts, and the Solar Bears have taken a 2-0 lead with 15 minutes and 20 seconds left in the second. Draws at center ice. Grizzlies skating from right to left. Utah wins the draw. Andrew Nilsson feeds to his right as the Grizzlies at neutral ice survey. Now they'll throw it back into their own zone for Nilsson. He'll feed it down the middle as Grizzlies pass connects. Cameron Wright skates towards the left side. He'll bounce off the end boards. Wright gets hit pretty hard, and he got hit pretty high. Wright is on the ice. He's injured. Andrew Nilsson to the high slot. Skates towards the middle, and the whistle blows as Cameron Wright got hit up high on the near goal line. And Colin Lee, the Grizzlies trainer, races out to see if the Grizzlies leading score is okay. Cameron Wright leads the Grizzlies with 18 goals, and he's tied with Andrew Nilsson with 38 points. He was on the near side of the goal line, and he got hit. He got hit up high, too. Hopefully Cameron Wright's okay. I don't think a penalty was called, though, on the hit on Cameron Wright, though. There's 14:59 left in the second, and hopefully Cameron Wright's okay. As they show a Solar Bears logo. So, unfortunately, we can't tell you if Cameron Wright's getting back to his feet, if he's being helped off, whatever the case is, if he's on two knees. And he's our leading scorer, and Cameron Wright's been the hottest of all the Grizzlies over the last 4 games. He's got 6 goals and 1 assist in his last 4 games coming into play tonight. I just wish we could see if our leading scorer is okay. But instead, we got a pretty good-looking Orlando Solar Bears logo. Colin Lee, the Grizzlies trainer, got some airtime as he ran out towards Wright to see if he's okay. So hopefully the Grizzlies' best goal scorer will be back to his feet as there's 14 minutes and 59 seconds left in the second. Draw, I believe, is going to be in the Orlando zone. Like I said, I don't think a penalty got called on the hit, but it was high. That's the only thing about it. It might have been the hit might have not had any sort of malice intent, and we couldn't see who the guy that hit Wright was. It wasn't really that he hit him. It was the fact he hit him high, and Wright ended up going down. And we've seen quite a few of those high hits, and it really isn't, it isn't really the danger. It really isn't like the velocity of the hit. It's the fact that it's up high. They didn't call a penalty on that play. We're skating 5-on-5. We're back to live action as the draw was at neutral ice. Now Orlando ices it, but it rolls towards Metcalf, who covers up in the crease, and the Solar Bears will have an offensive zone draw. So we can't tell you if Cameron Wright's okay or not because we didn't get to take a look at him. But looks like we're back to live action. Orlando looked like they iced the puck, but it rolled towards the crease, and Metcalf covered up. 14:51 left in the second. If there is even any heavenly way to give you an update on Cameron Wright, we will. Obviously, the only way we can see is whether he's on the ice or not. Tyler Penner will take the draw in the near circle, but it's Orlando that wins it this time. Right side, lefty shot, and it's blocked. Dylan Fitz in the area. Fitz gets the puck. Rink wide pass to the right. Grizzlies bounced it off of Pfizer's stick, and it goes back to neutral ice. Shearer Crosses center ice left wing, and he'll lift it high into the air as it bounces over in the far corner. As Orlando back deep in their own zone, spinning along the near wall. As Scherer delivers a big-time hit. Scherer has been physical tonight. As Penner spins along the wall, Fitz cuts it off on the right side, fires towards the net, saved by Sparks. Now Penner throws it up top for Scherer. Now to Fizer. He fires towards the net. It bounced off the stick, and Fitz was in the area. Fitz gathers it. He'll skates toward the left side. Now he'll drive it over to the right point. Grizzlies, Nilsson takes a shot, fans on it, and the puck rolls out of the zone. Now the puck glides off Nilsson's stick and rolls deeper in the Grizzlies zone. Nilsson chases it down. Orlando makes a line change. They'll throw it out to center ice. Grizzlies get it. Utah over to the left side, moves ahead to Fitz, who drops it off for Strong. Strong skates towards the left corner. He'll take a sharp angled shot. Saved by Sparks. And he holds on with 13:48 left in the second. There's a timeout. We're back in 1 minute. Orlando leads 2-0, and the Grizzlies' leading scorer got hit up high, and he's out of the game. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
$13:48 left in the second period. We do know that Grizzly fan Elijah Webb, who now lives in Orlando, he is attending tonight's game, and maybe Elijah can help us out and let us know whether Cameron Wright got back to his feet, whether he's back in the game or anything like that. As unfortunately we saw an Orlando Solar Bears logo and didn't, wasn't able to see, the extent of the Cameron Wright injury. As Orlando wins the draw, they'll throw it out towards center ice. As the puck goes back to Orlando, they skate from left to right. As the Solar Bears cross center ice, they enter the zone as they feed it over to the right side. They're trying to kick it out in front, and the pass goes wide. Orlando's got a guy down, and that's going to be a penalty. The Cameron Wright hit's not a penalty, but Orlando is going to go to the power play as Grizzlies touch it up in the right corner. As looks like cross-checking is going to be the call as Grant Mismash got hit in the back. That's a penalty, but the Cameron Wright hit wasn't. As it looks like Bryson Martin was the one skating towards the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. 13:23 is left in the second period. In fact, I think a few Grizzlies fans have made the trip over to Orlando. It's pretty smart considering it's warm weather over in the Sunshine State. And if you're at the game, let us know about Cameron Wright, whether he got up on his own, whether he skated towards the bench, whether he's on the bench or anything like that. That's the problem with not being at the game. As off the draw, Orlando feeds it to the right side. Shot saved by Metcalf as the Grizzlies are shorthanded for 2 minutes. I think it was Bryson Martin on the last time we were looking at the ice that was skating towards the penalty box. 13:16 left in the second period, and Orlando is on their third power play of the game. It is Bryson Martin in the box. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time at penalty, 6:47. Into the second period, Utah has outshot Orlando 25-24, but the Solar Bears lead the game 2-0. Orlando feeds it to the near goal line as Matthew Foguet has been good in this series. Grizzlies to the near side. Keaton Jamison gets it, and J-Mo clears it out. Sparks to the side of his net. We'll give it over to Brodzinski. He's the quarterback of this Orlando power play. He'll move it out to center ice as the Solar Bears glide towards center ice and dump it in. Metcalf stays in net as it rolls towards the right side as Penner chips it along the boards deep in the Grizzlies zone as it rolls towards the far side. Jamison gets it, tried to clear it out. Somehow Orlando kept it in with good hands on the left side. Solar Bears around the net. Puck skates towards the corner. Jamison battles as Penner skates over there as Grizzlies come out of the pile with the puck and Connor McDonald clears it out. Orlando back deep in their own zone will get it over to Brodzinski. As there's 12:25 and counting left in the second, Solar Bears lead 2-0. Both goals scored here, one in each of the two periods. So this is the Solar Bears skate over the line, skate towards the left circle as Jaden DeRue with one goal tonight gets the puck. He's just outside the circle. He surveys. Now he'll throw it up to the point. And now the Solar Bears kick it to Ballinson. Now to the left side. Solar Bears chip it across. They'll take a lefty shot, and that goes wide over the crossbar as the puck squirts towards the right corner. James Shearer feeds it back to the other side as getting pushed along the boards is Pouncey. Now the Solar Bears behind the goal line as Brzezinski throws it up top. Now Ballinson in the high slot. Feeds it back to the left side. Solar Bears skate towards the circle. Take a lefty shot, and it gets blocked as Shearer delivers a hit on Orlando's Jimmy Mazza, or make that Chakovic. Now goes back over to Ballinson late in the Orlando power play. They'll feed it to the right side as the Solar Bears will skate towards the right side. They'll chip it across. Now lefty shot, and that gets blocked in front of Metcalf as the puck glides towards the near boards. As MacArthur will fire it across. Out of the box is Martin. He delivers a big hit on the far side as Martin now delivers a second hit along the far boards. Pouncey in the area, so is Cam Strong. Now Martin delivers a third hit as Orlando left wing centers it and got redirected. Puck flies in the air and bounces to the side of the net. And Metcalf is covered up. 10:59 left in the second. Bryson Martin came out of the penalty box and delivered no less than 3 hits along the far boards. 10:59 left in the second. It's a Utah disaster cleanup successful penalty kill. UDK is the #1 provider of disaster cleanup services in Utah since 1974. UDK has been there for customers when they need us the most. That's Utah disaster cleanup. As we're 9 minutes into the second period. Draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Bunch of fans being shown. We're not going to see people chugging beer this time. So everybody's having a good time. We're back in 20 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. Now we're back to live action as they're gonna have the face off. I thought we'd had a timeout for a second. Braden Guy will take the draw against Keaton Jamison. Draws in the Grizzlies zone. Utah wins it as Nilsson throws it behind the net, throws in the area. Now it kicks back towards Nilsson. He vacated the corner. Dakota Raby skates over there. He'll lift it out to center ice. Now the Grizzlies cross center as Aaron Thoe skates towards the left side. He's got some speed. Left circle shot. Saved by Sparks. Orlando gets the rebound. They skate from left to right here in the second period as we see it as Braden Guy crosses center, steps over the line, looks to center it, but it goes past Orlando and rolls towards the left corner as the Grizzlies gather it. As Utah out to center ice, they cross center 2-on-3. Left wing pass to Raby. He'll drop it back to the high slot. Mikalchuk skates back to the left corner, hands it off to Raby. Raby skates towards the middle. He'll take a lefty backhand shot, and it gets blocked out in front of Sparks. Grizzlies right wing shot goes wide. Now back to Aaron Thoe left side. He skates towards the goal line. Though now around the net. He collides with the boards as Tristan Langen delivered a big hit, and that's going to be a penalty. Tristan Langen, it gets a penalty as he delivered a big hit behind the net. As the arm is raised by the referee, but Langen's not skating towards the penalty box. Well, who is? The arm is raised by the referee. 10:06 left in the second. Camera operator didn't follow the guy into the penalty box. And it looks like it's a penalty on Orlando, but it's not Langen, it's Brandon McCara. McCara goes to the box for Orlando, serving minutes 10 and 11 for him this season. 10:06 left in the second. The Grizzlies are going to get a power play as Utah trying to climb back into this game. Both teams are 0 for 3 on the power play so far. Orlando has outshot Utah 28-27. And we're only halfway through the game. That many shots. That's amazing. As a draw in the Orlando zone as Utah starts a power play. Grizzlies win the faceoff as Nilsson throws it to Martell. Now back to the right side for Pfizer. Over to Nilsson. Back to Jamison. Over to Nilsson. Nilsson over to the right side for Pfizer. He'll take a righty shot, and it goes wide. Martell has replaced Cameron Wright on this power play line. As Jamison behind the net, Martell over there. Raby battles as well as the puck glides towards the right side. Pfizer gets to the right point. He fires towards the net. Saved by Sparks. Rebound goes to Utah. As Jamison gets held up by Jimmy Mazza, no call. Now Orlando gathers it in the far corner. They clear it out to center. It bounced off a Nilsson stick and rolls into the Grizzlies zone. Nilsson gathers it. He's instrumental to the Grizzlies power play. He'll dump it in as Orlando chases after it at their goal line, and Semikin spins along the far side. Now Orlando 2-on-2 skates down the middle. They'll chip it out in front, and Nilsson picks it off. Good job by Andrew Nilsson as Orlando fired it towards the net, but he was able to get a piece of it. Now Taryn Pfizer crosses center ice. He'll skate towards his left. Pfizer enters the zone, drops off looking for Martell, but it's Martin that gets it. As the Grizzlies sneak in a few new skaters As now to the right point goes Pfizer. Now to Nilsson. Nilsson's on the right side. He'll chip it across to Raby, looking for a one-timer, but he couldn't connect on it as he fanned on it. Now Orlando clears it out. Play starting to get physical along the near boards as Utah completes a line change. 8:43 and counting left in the second. Orlando still leads 2-0. As Pfizer on the far side will skeet towards neutral. He makes a nice move. He gets tripped up. No penalty on the play, or is there? Yeah, tripping is going to be called as Terran Pfizer made a beautiful move on Tristan Langen. He faked Langen out of his skates, and Jaden Daru ended up tripping him up. It was Daru that got faked out of his skates as Pfizer made a really nice move on him, and just about the time he was able to get past Daru tripped him up. 8:34 left in the second. There are 2 Solar Bears in the penalty box. Of course, they don't show us the time of the penalties, so we have to guess how much time's left in the 5-on-3. There's 8:34 left in the second. Looks like everybody's having a good time. Pfizer skated. He just faked out Jaden Daru, and Daru just took his knee and tripped up Terran Pfizer. Luckily, Pfizer got back to his feet. Cameron Wright is out of action. Jordan Martell replaced Cameron Wright on that top power play line. And how much time's left in the power play? Looks like McCara got in the box 9:54 in, and Daru's penalty 11:26 in. That's where we stand right now. So the Grizzlies will have a 5-on-4 for 28 seconds, or a 5-on-3 for 28 seconds. And 28 seconds from now, McCara will be in the box, 2 minutes for slashing, and then after that, the Grizzlies will stay on the power play 5-on-4. So this is a big-time opportunity here on the power play for the Grizzlies to get back in the game. Watch out for Nilsson in his shot if he gets an open look. Looks like the Grizzlies are looking for Terran Pfizer quite a bit on their power play. And, don't underestimate the Rooster, Jordan Martell. Feels like he's due to pick up his 7th goal of the year anytime. Draw is going to be in the Orlando zone. It's won by the Solar Bears. Jimmy Mazza clears it out. Pfizer skates quickly into his own zone, gets the puck from Metcalf. As Grizzlies have a 5-on-3, but it's just a limited time offer. Grizzlies enter the zone as Martell round to the corner for Pfizer. He gets blasted along the boards, but Pfizer chips over to the right side. Andrew Nilsson, right point, feeds it across to Pfizer. Pfizer has the puck. He'll throw it to the near corner. Now back up top to Nilsson. One-timer. That gets blocked as Nilsson gets it back. And now it's 5-on-4s. Orlando got McCara out of the box. He joins the play. Raby over to Nilsson, back to the left side, just outside the circle for Pfizer. He'll feed the near goal line for Jamison. Banned on a shot, gets it back, throws it to Pfizer. Now to Nilsson. Thought about one-timer, but just gathered it. Now back to Pfizer. He chips over to the right side for Raby. Now Nilsson, the high slot. Nilsson fakes, skates over to his right. Now to Pfizer. One-timer, saved by Sparks. And he holds on with 7:40 left in the second as the whistle blows. Good job by the Grizzlies moving the puck around. Nilsson had a good look, but it was blocked. And then Pfizer on the left side had a shot, and Sparks was able to make the save as the puck just kind of was towards his body, and Sparks was able to corral it. There's 7:40 left in the second. Grizzlies will be on the power play. I wish they put the time of the power play up there so we don't have to do some math. Grizzlies are on the power play for a limited time as Orlando wins the draw. They'll bounce it off of James Shearer, and it rolls towards the Grizzlies zone as Bryson Martin gathers it. As looks like Aaron Tho's also on the ice. Maybe make that Cam Strong as Grizzlies feed it across now to the right side. As Michalchuk on the right side gets over past Strong along the wall as Fitz will chip it over to the near side for Shearer. Shearer to the left point. Fed it across, but the puck stayed at Shearer. As he fanned on the pass, he gets it back and spins it towards the right side for Strong. Now Fitz behind the net over to Michalchuk. Vladdy has a bounce off his stick and it rolls towards the Solar Bear along the near boards, and Orlando lifts it all the way out of the zone. Metcalf behind his net will play the puck. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the second period as Bryson Martin to the far side will fake a pass, keep it. Now Martin will skate ahead. Now throw a north-south pass out to the right side for Michalchuk. Right point, gains the line and spins along the wall. Fitz chips it over towards Strong, who gets pushed along the boards. As Shearer across to Martin on the right side, he'll skeet towards his left. He'll get it to Shearer, back across to the right side. Strong one-timer, fanned on it. Puck rolls back towards Martin. We're now skating 5-on-5. Now centering pass to Fitz. He takes a shot and he scores! Centering pass connected to Dylan Fitz, and the former Orlando Solar Bear gets Utah on the board with 6:25 left in the second. Shearer nudged a centering pass over to Dylan Fitz, and Fitz puts it away for his 11th of the year, and that's got to be sweet revenge for a guy who was traded from Orlando to Utah about a year ago. So Fitz gets his 11th of the year, and he is now third in the team in goals. Cameron Wright's got 18 this season, Taryn Pfizer with 15, and now Dylan Fitz, who's had an outstanding road trip, gets his 11th of the season on a great pass from James Shearer, as Shearer was over to the right side and centered it to Fitz, and then Fitz put it in the back of the net. Shearer will get his 10th assist of the season as Utah back in this one. It was a 5-on-5 goal. Grizzlies cross center and chip it in. Simeone delivers a hit as Penner in the area. Puck bounced off his stick as it goes back over to Foguet. He wears number 24. Right side, he gains the offensive line and dumps it in as McDonald behind the net will bounce it off of Foguet. Goes back to Simeone, who will ricochet off the boards and chase after it as it rolls towards Ballinson. As Orlando back at their goal line, skates around the net. Simeone and Pfizer in the area. Orlando chips it ahead. Left side, could the Grizzlies keep it in? No, Orlando at center ice. 2-on-2. Foguet to the right side, centering pass, and shot goes wide. Metcalf is on his backside to the left side, and Orlando tries to chip it out in front. Shot gets blocked by Bartley as Pfizer will backhand it out to center ice and goes all the way deep in the Orlando zone. Arm is raised by the linesman. Icing on the Grizzlies. Oh, boy, golden opportunity there for Orlando. And Garrett Metcalf, who was on his backside, but the Grizzlies defensive unit just built a wall at the crease and didn't let Orlando get that insurance goal. Shearer and Strong got the assist on the Dylan Fitz goal. Time of goal, 13:35 into the second period. So it wasn't a power play goal. It was 5-on-5. Utah has done a great job in 5-on-5 situations over the last 3.5 games as they've outscored opponents 12-3 in 5-on-5 action over the last 3+ games. Over to the corner, Tyler Penner feeds it across action in the Grizzlies zone as Bartley in the area, so is Tyler Penner. As Penner, Bartley over there, Bartley delivers a hit. Everybody stops skating. Well, a helmet was off. I wonder if somebody played without a helmet. Tristan Langen was in the area, but there was a helmet that was off, and it was Langen. I think Langen's going to get a penalty for playing without a helmet. Yeah, he's going to skate towards the penalty box. 5:11 is left in the second period. Looks like Tristan Langen tried to play hockey without a helmet, doing his big Craig McTavish impersonation. Problem is you can't do that in the year 2023. So the Grizzlies are going on the power play. Orlando leads 2-1. Can the Grizzlies find a way to tie it up? We're back in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Tristan Langen had the audacity to play hockey without a helmet. It's not allowed in the year 2023 as he tried to do his big Craig McTavish impersonation. So Tristan Langen, 2 minutes for a helmet violation, time of penalty, 14:49 into the second period. Orlando scored the first 2 goals of the game. Jaden DeRue scored 17:03 in with Foguet getting the assist. 4:40 into the second period. Tristan Langen got his 14th of the year. Harper and Chekovich with the assists. Dylan Fitz got Utah on the board, 13:35 in, with James Shearer and Cam Strong getting the assists. It's Utah's 6th power play of the game. Orlando is 0 for 3 on the power play. Utah, as of right now, is 0 for 5. So the draw is going to be in the Orlando zone. Kind of a tough one for Tristan Langen. Your helmet comes off. You really have no choice. You got to just skate to the bench. Or you take some time, pick up your helmet, and put it back in place. At that point, you might as well just skate to the bench, and he didn't, apparently. Orlando wins the draw. Harper will clear it out as Andrew Nelson will race back into the Grizzlies zone to get it as he gets a pass from Metcalf as Nelson will skate around the Utah net. 5 minutes and counting left in the second period. Utah's on the power play for the 6th time this evening. They'll throw it to the right side for Pfizer, dumps it in. Jordan Martell out there replacing Cameron Wright on this power play shift as Wright got hit up high and hasn't returned to the game since. As Orlando gets a pass as they pick off a Utah pass. The Grizzlies trying to feed the far circle. Solar Bears gained the line. Left point shot saved by Metcalf. Grizzlies come back the other way. As Taryn Pfizer skates down the middle. Now he'll throw it towards the near boards. Taken by Dakota Raby. As Raby will feed it out to center ice for Nilsson. At center ice, he'll throw a right wing pass towards the slot. Now Jamison over to Pfizer, across to Nilsson. Now back across to Pfizer. It kicked off his skate. Pfizer nudges it towards the far corner, and Jamison gets it. Now to Raby. Back around to the right point for Pfizer, but it looks like it bounced off a stanchion and flew out of play. 4:10 left in the second. Grizzlies will make a line change. Draw will be in the Orlando zone as Dylan Fitz will enter the ice. And that's got to be good revenge for Dylan Fitz, who got traded by Orlando on March 24th of 2022 as he scored Utah's first goal tonight. He had 1 assist last night, and Dylan Fitz has really been a critical performer for the Grizzlies all season. We talk about Tyler Penner being the Iron Man for Utah, but Dylan Fitz has not missed a game since joining the Grizzlies late last season. As the puck goes towards the far boards, the far corner, or the near corner, as now rolls towards the left point. Shearer gets it across to Martin, back to Shearer, is all alone to the left side, but he gets it to the corner. Michalchuk with a sharp-angled shot, saved by Sparks. Well, it looked like Michalchuk was looking around, trying to figure out where to go, and it looked like he just called his own number. And after the play, Garrett Sparks and Jimmy Mazza were talking things over, as I don't think anybody was expecting Michalchuk to take the quick shot from the near corner, but he did. Sparks somehow was able to make the save with quick reflexes to keep it a 2-1 game, and Sparks held on. Draws give me the left circle. It's won by Utah. Same 5-man unit out there for the Grizz. Shearer across to Martin. Now to the far goal line for Cam Strong, who's got an assist tonight. Up top for Shearer in the high slot. Now to Michalchuk. One-timer, and it's blocked. As the puck stays in the left circle, Orlando gets it and clears it out. As the puck spins along the near boards, now Bryson Martin cuts it off as the puck kind of stayed along the end wall and just kind of stuck there. As Grizzlies feed a left wing pass to center ice, Cam Strong gets it. He'll skate towards the corner as he gets hit. Orlando clears it out again. As it's late in Utah's power play, Bryson Martin skates back, and the puck is back in that same spot as it was the last time he retrieved it. As now we're skating 5-on-5 as Langen, with his helmet on, will skate on the ice. Grizzlies will throw a rink-wide pass. It doesn't connect. It looks like icing is on Utah. 3:05 is left in the second period. It's the Solar Bears 2 and the Grizzlies 1. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Solar Bears lead 2-1. Friend of the program, Elijah Webb, now lives in Orlando, and he's at the game tonight. He said that Wright needed help off the ice, and that's really all that he said. And he came out injured, and we haven't seen Cameron Wright since, as he got hurt early in the second period by a hit up high, an unpenalized hit up high, as Orlando still leads 2-1. Action at the Utah blue line as we're back to live action. Less than 3 minutes left in the second period. Orlando dumps it in as Victor Bartley gets it. It'll ricochet off the far boards. Orlando gathers it. Solar Bears left wing shot goes wide. That was taken by Chekovich. And now Jimmy Mazza on the right side throws it back to the left corner. Orlando couldn't handle it as the Grizzlies get hit. Now Simeone feeds it to the right side. Grizzlies out of neutralize. Victor Bartley crosses center down the middle. Now throw it to his left for Penner. Back to Bartley, who around Orlando's net gets challenged. Now Simeone gathers it over to Pfizer. One-timer saved by Sparks. Rebound goes out to Utah. Kyle Pouncey in the left side. Back to Penner. Penner drops it off for Simeone, who looks like he's taking the place of somebody else. As Martin throws it across. It bounced off a Orlando stick. Now around the net is Utah as Pouncey over to Pfizer. Now Simeone, as he's replacing Fitz on that line. Pfizer centers it out in front. There were just too many sticks in the way as Orlando gathers it. They skate behind their net. Now Utah takes it away. Penner feeds it towards the left side. It bounced off off the boards and rolls towards the left circle. Simeone around the wall. Penner couldn't handle it as it rolls back to the Solar Bears. And Orlando will throw it over to the blue line of their own zone. Orlando will throw it back deeper in their own end as the Grizzlies retreat defensively. 1.5 minutes are left in the Second period, Orlando leads 2-1. Solar Bears skate in from the right side. Martin delivers a hit on Braden Guy. Is around the net, goes to Pouncey. Back to the far side for Pfizer. He couldn't handle it. Now left point, Orlando in the offensive zone. Spins it back around behind the net. Solar Bears back in the right side. Now behind the net, Orlando. They try to feed it out in front to Mismash, and it goes wide as Harper gets it back to Mismash. Now up top for Foguet. Now to the right side for Brzezinski. He'll fire a shot that goes wide. Actually, he was looking for somebody cutting in front of the net. Nobody did. It was more of a pass than a shot. As Orlando skates back in their own end, being challenged by the Grizzlies' Dakota Raby. Now behind the net, Orlando to the far side, 52 seconds left in the second. As the Solar Bears, Harper throws it back to the corner, picked off by Jamison as he gets hit along the boards by Mismash. As Orlando throws it back to the near side, Grizzlies chase after it. One-on-one battle in the corner. Now 2-on-2 as Raby skates over there along with the Solar Bear. Puck comes out of the scrum. Utah gets it. Raby over to Shearer. Now back to the near boards for McCallchuck where the scrum was. Now the Grizzlies will kick it over to the corner. Harper in the area, so is Raby. As he tried to chip it over to the left circle, puck stayed along the boards. 20 seconds left in the second. 2 Grizzlies and 2 Solar Bears over there. Jamison trying to hack the puck away as Orlando's Harper has it pinned along the wall. As the Grizzlies get it, left point, lefty shot, and it goes wide. As McCallchuck gets spun around behind the net. 5 seconds left in the period. Grizzlies skate towards the left side. They get pushed in the corner again. Raby skates over there, but that will do it for second period action as the horn sounds. Both teams scored 1 goal in the second period. And for Dylan Fitz, it's got to be sweet revenge scoring against his former team as he's now third on the club with 11 goals this season. As Michael Brzezinski talking smack with Dakota Raby as the Solar Bears will walk off the ice, and so will the Grizzlies. Orlando has a 2-1 lead, and they've played pretty good. It's been an entertaining game. Looks like 2 good teams on the ice, and it looks like both teams brought their A game. It's the Solar Bears 2 and the Grizzlies 1. We'll recap the first 2 periods of play. We'll also talk some hockey as we're through 40 minutes over at Amway Center, and the Solar Bears lead the Grizzlies 2-1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Second intermission over at Amway Center, and Orlando leads Utah 2-1. I'm Tyson Whiting. The Solar Bears took a 1-0 lead, 17:03 into the first period as Jaden Daru got his 5th of the year. Matthew Foguet with the assist, and Foguet was behind Utah's net and fed a nice centering pass out in front to Daru, out in front of the crease, and Daru put it away. As Daru's been pretty solid over the first 2 periods, he leads Orlando with 6 shots on goal, and Orlando led 1-0 after 1 period. The Solar Bears outshot the Grizzlies 18-14 in the first period. Tristan Langan made it a 2-0 game as he scored his 14th of the year, 440 into the second. Chris Harper and Maxime Chekovich with the assist. I think it was just after that when Cameron Wright got hit up high near the goal line on the near side, and that was in the offensive zone. And, I don't want to get on the officiating too much, but that's pathetic that you don't make a call like that. It was up high. It's pretty obvious that Cameron Wright was hurt, and he hasn't returned to the game since. Not only should it be a penalty, but the guy probably should get suspended for a game. We couldn't see who the hit was on. And unfortunately, the only thing we saw on Flow Sports, we saw Colin Lee running after him, and Wright was laying on the ice. And then we saw an Orlando Solar Bears logo for 3 or 4 minutes and couldn't tell you anything other than he's not returned to the game. Elijah Webb, who's a good friend of the program, he's now living in Orlando, and he's at the game. I guess he said that, Wright had to be helped off. That's all he really said. So we don't really know anything, and we don't want to get on the officiating too much, but it's pretty clear when you see a hit like that, that something has to be done, especially a hit that high. If it's a hit that's, on the ribs, if it's somewhere near the middle of the body, you're not making that call. When it's that high, when it's that dangerous, considering that, in hockey, we're supposed to do something about concussions and brain trauma. I mean, that's what they're trying to do in football. Any hit up high like that, whether it's a Grizzly delivering the hit or if it's an opposing player, that call's got to be made, and it wasn't. And that's kind of disappointing. And, you talk about Cameron Wright, who's been absolutely outstanding for the Grizzlies on this road trip. A guy that leads the club with 18 goals. I think the Grizzlies did miss him on those power plays later on in the second period because you just got a legitimate scoring threat. And if nothing else, Cameron Wright will take 5 or 6 shots a game for you. Wright had 1 shot in the time that he was in there, which was a little bit more than a period. But Wright leads all league rookies in shots on goal. He had 182 coming into play tonight. He's also tied for the league lead with 7 game-winning goals. So I know sometimes, you win like 5-1, you get the second goal of the game, 10 minutes into the first period, you get the game-winning goal. So some of those don't matter, but Cameron Wright does have 1 overtime game winner. Remember in Greenville, he was like 5 seconds away from a game-winning goal. Greenville scored with 4 seconds left in the third period to make it a 4-3 game. Well, Cameron Wright had Utah's 3rd goal on Wednesday, so he was that close. He was 5 seconds away from getting a game-winning goal in that game. Wright did get the game-winning goal last night, I believe, which would be his 7th of the year. It might have been Savannah. I think he actually did get the game winner in Savannah. It wasn't yesterday. Mikalchuk got the game winner yesterday against Orlando, but Cameron Wright this past Friday against Savannah scored the game-winning goal, and he's got 7 of them this season. And so losing him, who knows how long, obviously, he would be out, but losing Cameron Wright would be big. And it looked very similar, even though it was a different spot on the ice, to when Tyson Helgeson hit Dakota Raby up high. Not to compare things, but Raby ended up missing 5 games as a result of that. And what kind of suspension was handed out? I don't remember. There might have been a 1-game suspension for Tyson Helgeson. I don't remember. But there wasn't even a penalty, if I recall, on that play either. It's kind of puzzling sometimes. And then you think about Johnny Walker, who hasn't played the last 4 games. Because on February 11th, he got hit with a cross-check in the back of the head by Kenton Helgeson. Well, Helgeson got a game misconduct, and he got a major penalty. Did he get suspended by the league? Nope. And I doubt that whoever hit Cameron Wright out, obviously didn't even get a penalty on the play. And we didn't get to see a replay of it either. Is he going to get suspended for a game? Yeah. History says no, because it went against the Grizzlies. Orlando leads 2-1, but the Grizzlies, they led 2-0 when Cameron Wright got hit. The Grizzlies did get on the board 13:35 into the second. Dylan Fitz with his 11th of the year. James Shearer and Cam Strong with the assists. So good revenge for Dylan Fitz against his former team. And for Cam Strong and James Shearer, they continue to be excellent on this road trip. So it became a 2-1 Orlando lead. Tristan Langan, while the score was 2-1, got a helmet violation, 14:49 into the second. He lost his helmet, and the rule is you got to either pick the helmet up, strap it back on, or skate off the ice. Well, just about everybody decides to just skate off the ice because it just takes you too long to put your helmet back on. And so Langan apparently played without a helmet, and that's illegal in the year 2023. Back in Craig McTavish's days, he was the last NHL player to play without a helmet. It was good for him, but once he retired, then there was nobody that, could play without a helmet. I think, you could play without a helmet. It'd just be a stupid decision for you to play without a helmet in pro hockey. And Langen, I guess, tried to play without his helmet, and you got a helmet violation, 14:49 into the second period. Neither team has a power play goal. Grizzlies 0 for 6 on the power play. Orlando is 0 for 3. But if I recall, I think there was the goal that Orlando scored was 40 seconds after their penalty kill had ended. So their penalty kill had ended. And if I recall right, the Grizzlies goal in the second period, the one that Fitz scored 13:35 in, that was 9 seconds after the end of a power play. So even though the Grizzlies didn't score on that 5-on-3 or 5-on-4 power play halfway through the second period, the Grizzlies did get that offensive zone time and did score, looks like 9 seconds after that power play ended. So the Grizzlies at that time obviously had the puck in the offensive zone. So even though it wasn't exactly the power play that scored, it did, it was just like it was short enough time to where the power play did have an impact on the Grizzlies scoring that goal. As Sure was to the right side and just kind of centered the Fitz, who put it away. And against a good goaltender like Garrett Sparks, that's how you're going to have to score goals, is out there in front of the net. Orlando leads 2-0. As it's second intermission, we'll see if the Grizzlies can come back in this one. Obviously, a lot of teams have an outstanding record when leading after 2. The Grizzlies, for instance, have only lost once when leading after 2, and they've got a record of 17-1. When trailing after 2, the Grizzlies are just 1-19 this season. But, hey, it's just a 1-goal deficit. Remember, the Grizzlies in the second game of this road trip against Rapid City, and even though the Grizzlies lost in overtime, I think that the Grizzlies did gain some confidence, and there was something about that game that ended up jump-starting the Grizzlies' 3-game winning streak. Because the Grizzlies, if I recall right, were down by 1 heading into the third period. Cameron Wright scored a goal to tie it up and then, forced overtime. Then obviously Rapid City scored in the first minute of the OT session to get the 1-goal victory, but the Grizzlies did come back in this one. And after all, it is just a 1-goal deficit. So even if the Grizzlies are going to be without Cameron Wright in the third period, obviously we'll see if we can give you an update if we can, even though we probably won't here tonight. Hopefully Cameron Wright's okay, as he's been outstanding for the Grizzlies. And outstanding is not even a strong enough word. He's been unbelievable for the Grizzlies over the last 4 games. We'll come back and give you some scores from around the world of sports, as once again, we're in the second intermission, and Orlando leads Utah 2-1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott. Second intermission over at Amway Center. Orlando leads Utah 2-1. 6 NHL games today. 4 of them have gone final. The Philadelphia Flyers defeat Calgary 4-3. So the Flyers and John Tortorella, they're not at the 500 mark yet. They've got a record of 23, 25, and 10. And Calgary goes to 26, 20, and 11. San Jose shuts out Seattle 4-0. The Kraken have had a good year, but San Jose, who's really struggled this season, gets a 4-0 victory as they defeat Seattle. That game was played in San Jose. Earlier today, Florida over Anaheim 4-3 in overtime, as Carter Verhaeghe scored 142 into the extra session as the Panthers get the extra standing point. They won 4-3. And Boston defeats Ottawa 3-1. The Bruins have been unbelievable this year. And think about the whatever they call it, the TD Garden. I still call it like the Boston Garden, even though it's a different building. And there was the Fleet Center for many years, but that could be a very busy building in the month of June, because you think about the Boston Celtics and Jason Tatum. They went to the NBA Finals last year, and it looks like the Celtics are the team to beat once again this season. And they could be joined by the Boston Bruins, as it looks like the Bruins might be the favorite in the Eastern Conference this year. Second intermission over in Pittsburgh, the Penguins lead the Islanders 2-1. And after 40 minutes of play over at Madison Square Garden, the Jets lead the New York Rangers 3-1. And speaking of Madison Square Garden, that's a place I've always dreamed of about calling a game in. MSG with that famous roof. Think about the Rangers fans. They just go nuts over there. Either a Rangers game, a Knicks game. It wouldn't even matter what the sport is. I just love to call a game over at Madison Square Garden. That's certainly on my bucket list. Winnipeg leads the Rangers 3-1 as another person's chugging a beer, second intermission. Hopefully a lot of these people have somebody driving for them. I think we've seen how many beers getting chugged. We should have made a count. And if Guy were here, I would have told him that his job for this evening is to see just how many beers get chugged on the video board over in Orlando, because that's the feed that we're getting apparently. And I think that's the same feed that all the viewers on Flow Sports are getting as well. We should have taken account as to how many were being chugged on the video board over in Orlando. But it looks like everybody's having a good time over in the Sunshine State. And for the Grizzlies, tonight is the final game of 6 straight on the road. And we remember, we recall the Grizzlies losing 2 straight against Rapid City. And when the Grizzlies lost in overtime on February 11th, that was the Grizzlies' 5th straight loss. But the Grizz respond with 3 straight road wins in the Eastern Time Zone. This past Wednesday, they defeated Greenville 4-3. On Friday night, the Grizzlies over Savannah 6-3. And late yesterday, the Grizzlies scored 4 unanswered to defeat Orlando 4-1. It's going to be a fun series here this week. Hopefully the Grizzlies will be able to travel safely, as it sounds like there's going to be a ton of snow hitting the Salt Lake Valley over the next couple days. And hopefully the Allen Americans reach town as well, obviously. Because we need both teams here so we can play on Wednesday night. And hopefully the weather will be good enough that we'll get a good attendance here on Wednesday night, as obviously there's going to be a ton of snow in the Salt Lake Valley. If there's as much snow as they say there's going to be, it's going to be nuts here in the Salt Lake Valley. And hopefully the snow plows do their job, and hopefully everybody will get from point A to point B safely. But you think about Wednesday night, it's going to be a Bud Light College night with discounted student tickets. That's going to be the series opener. And remember, the last time the Grizzlies faced the Allen Americans, there was 96 penalty minutes by the Grizzlies and another 50 by the Americans. As remember that series ended with Lucas Preet getting in a fight with Chase Perry. Never mind the scoreboard in that Allen swept Utah in the 3-game set, and Allen looks like they're playing good hockey. It's a big game and a big series in terms of the standings in the Mountain Division, as Allen right now is in 4th place with 49 standings points. The Grizzlies are in 6th place, or Allen is in 4th place. Rapid City's having a little bit of a struggle, and Allen is in 4th place with an even 500-point percentage and 49 standings points. The Grizzlies right now have 46 standings points and a 479-point percentage. And after tonight's game, both teams will have played 49 games this season. And so you think about that 3-game series, you could put a dent, not only win the game and elevate yourself in the playoff race, but you can put a dent on the Allen Americans and their playoff pursuit. So that's really what makes this series so critical upcoming here at Maverick Center. We mentioned Wednesday night, Bud Light College night. Friday is going to be an AFCU Friday. That's every Friday home game for the Grizzlies, where tickets start just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. And don't forget, Friday and Saturday is also going to be Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company, where the Grizzlies are wearing specialty jerseys. And on the jerseys are those that have been impacted by cancer. My mom passed away a couple months ago. Her name's on the jersey. And there's so many other names on the specialty jersey that the Grizzlies will wear this upcoming Friday and Saturday against the Allen Americans. When we come back in 1 minute, we'll have third period action as Orlando leads Utah 2-1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
expectations here will always remain high, and we'll continue to find a way.
Guys put together a lot of good games, you know.
Now we're about set for third period action as Utah looking for a comeback. Orlando leads 2-1. Shots have been pretty even throughout this game. Utah has outshot Orlando 32-31, and the Grizzlies outshot Orlando 18-13 in the second period. Grizz are led by Taryn Fizer, who has 6 shots on goal, 3 shots for Dylan Fitz, James Shearer, Keaton Jamison, Dakota Raby, and Cam Strong. And one of Fitz's 3 shots found the back of the net. Jaden DeRue has 1 goal and leads the Solar Bears with 6 shots. As taking the face-off is Tyler Penner. He wins it. The Grizzlies skate from left to right as we see it on Flow Sports as Taryn Fizer skates over the offensive line, dumps it in. As it rolls towards the right corner, Grizzlies, Dylan Fitz to the left side, chips it up top. As Victor Bartley fires a shot, it's blocked. Puck rolls back to Bartley, who skates towards the left circle. He loses the puck. Orlando skates around Garrett Sparks' net. Sparks has stopped all but one. As he has saved 31 of 32. Orlando listen out to center ice. It bounced off the official, and the Grizzlies will re-enter. Dylan Fitz to the left point, stops, spins it to the corner. Orlando picks it up before it got to the corner. They'll dish it ahead. As the puck bounced off an Orlando stick, Grizzlies to the far side. Trying to clear it out. Braden Guy keeps it in as it gets poked away by Shearer. And now Utah gathers it as the puck must have lifted high in the air. And it's been kind of an odd first minute of play here in the third as Taryn Fizer just kind of doing a lot of spins along the far side. Now get it ahead to Nilsson. Nilsson neutralized, loses it. As Luke Boca will throw it back to the Solar Bears zone. Orlando skates from right to left. Solar Bears with a right wing pass, and it bounced off the boards. Nilsson gathers it. He avoids a check as Orlando throws it back to the right point. Righty shot, and it goes wide. Boca was trying to redirect it. As Orlando's Smeekin drops it back to the corner for Tyler Bird. As Bird skates around the net, he gets hit by Fizer. Now Shearer takes it away. He'll feed it from one corner to the other as it bounced off the glass. Left side, Smeekin throws it up top as Orlando gets it back around the net. As Tyler Bird behind it will throw it to the left side as the Grizzlies will tap it off the boards as Fizer trying to get it to Raby. Now left point, Smeekin lefty shot saved by Metcalf. As Dmitry Smeekin took a shot from the left point and Metcalf gathered it. With 18-18 left in the third as both teams make a line change. The draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Utah looking for a comeback attempt here, but watch for the shot count. Can the Grizzlies here in the first half of this third period generate some good looks on Garrett Sparks and the Orlando Solar Bears? Draw taken by Keaton Jamison, but this time it's won by Grant Mismash in Orlando as the Solar Bears to the left side feed it up top. As to the left point, Max Ballinson throws to the circle. Now centering pass shot saved by Metcalf. That was taken by DeRue, who now has 7 shots for the Solar Bears tonight. As Grizzlies get it out to center. As right wing, McCallchuck dumps it in. Raby chasing after it. He collides with Jimmy Mazza. Raby gets the puck. Now Mazza holds him along the boards. McCallchuck over there now goes back to Orlando. Solar Bears feed it to Ballinson in front of his net. Now Ballinson behind Garrett Sparks' net. He'll throw it to the far side. As Orlando couldn't handle the puck at neutral ice. Grizzlies near the boards, 2-on-2 battle. McCallchuck dumps it in, but it's regathered by the Solar Bears. As Orlando throws it to center ice, and they dump it in. As the Grizzlies make a line change, and so too does Orlando. Metcalf throws to the far side. And out rolls back behind the net. As I think that's Victor Bartley. They'll throw it to the near side for the captain, Connor McDonald. He goes D to Bartley. He crosses center ice left wing, and the Grizz get it in, but couldn't handle the puck as it goes out to center ice again. As Martin gets hit, 2-on-2. Orlando to the right side. Looks to center it, and it connects. MacArthur with a backhand shot, saved by Metcalf. Simeone in the area as he collides with a Solar Bear and pins him along the wall. As Martell in the area, so is Cam Strong. And coming out of the pile with the puck is Martell. He feeds it across, pass to Bartley's picked off. As Orlando to the right wing, they'll take a righty shot, and it goes wide. Orlando tries to kick it out in front. Simeone gathers it about chest high and bats it out of the zone. And now we get a whistle. Looks like interference is going to be the call. And it looks like Victor Bartley's the one skating towards the penalty box. So 16:46 left in the third, and it looks like Orlando's going on the power play as Victor Bartley is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. If you or someone you know been charged with a DUI, Rogers and Russell is Utah's DUI defense firm. Consequences for driving under the influence in Utah are serious, and you need great attorneys on your first line. Look for a letter in the mail from Rogers and Russell inviting you to schedule a free consultation. Don't throw away or disregard this letter. Call and get Utah's #1 DUI defense team. Rogers and Russell. Grizzlies win the face-off and clear it out. Now Orlando's coming back the other way. They cross center ice and backhanded in. As skating towards the corner is Bryson Martin. He'll spin it back to the far side as Orlando gathers it off the boards. Solar Bears skate back towards the right corner as they stop. They feed it up top as Brodzinski will chip it back to the right circle. Orlando thought about getting it across, but they keep it to the right side. As the Solar Bears get it back up top, mismatch over to Brodzinski. He'll feed it over to the left side. Now they glide it back to the right as Pregame couldn't handle it. He regathers it in the corner. He'll throw it up top for Brodzinski. And we get a whistle as they were throwing it up top. 16:01 left in the third. And looks like they're going to get a new puck. Somehow the puck ended up out of play. 16:01 left in the third. Draw is going to stay in the Grizzlies zone. Orlando looking for a big insurance goal. Grizzlies looking to tie it up. As the Grizz have won 3 in a row, they've got a standing point in 4 straight. Orlando is 5-3-2 in their last 10 games. Cam Strong will take the face-off against Matthew Barnaby. Barnaby, first time we've seen him on the screen. He is the son of Matthew Barnaby. As Orlando wins the draw, they skate towards the left circle. Balance will take a lefty shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes out to the far side. Taken back by Orlando. Barnaby wants it in the slot, but it stays on the right side. Now across to MacArthur. As he's to the left side, he skates towards the circle. Chips it across. Now up top for Drew. Drew will take a lefty shot. Saved by Metcalf. Garrett holds on with 15:36 left in the third. As Orlando still leads 2-1. The Solar Bears have had the puck in the offensive zone for quite some time in this power play. As Victor Bartley got an interference minor, 3:14 into the third. So we're a little bit more than halfway through the power play. As neither team has scored a power play goal here so far. Knock on wood. Orlando wins the draw. They throw it to the right circle. Shot is blocked, and it rolls all the way out to center ice. Max Ballinson will chase it down. He gets the puck as he skates towards the near side. Now Ballinson feeds it across. Orlando regains the line as they glide towards the right circle. Now they'll feed it up top. Pass goes wide. Ballinson skates over there to keep the puck in. Now he feeds to the right side as the Solar Bears survey. Tried to chip it across to MacArthur, but it stays to the right side. Now up top for Ballinson. He'll feed it to the right side. Now across looking for MacArthur. Grizzlies get a stick in the way. Rolls towards Ballinson. Feeds the right side. Shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound shot and a score. And that's Matthew Barnaby scoring a big insurance goal for the Solar Bears. 14:59 left in the third. It's Orlando 3 and Utah 1. Barnaby gets his 5th of the year. As shot was taken from the right side, rebound out in front. There are 3 Solar Bears in the area. Puck just kind of bounced towards Barnaby. You know what happened? Metcalf had the puck in the front of the crease. He tried to clear it out and didn't get much on it, and it just kind of rolled towards Barnaby, who put it away. So it's a power play goal for the Solar Bears as they lead 3-1. The Grizzlies have some catching up to do. We have not seen Cameron Wright here so far in the third period as he got hurt earlier in the second period. As draw won by Orlando, they skate into the offensive zone. Big time hit along the end boards as Orlando over to the right side, skates towards the corner as Nielsen holds up a Solar Bear. Skating over to the corner is Martel as Simeone over there. Martin, Cam Strong, Martel surveys. Puck stays along the far boards. It glides back to the corner after everybody vacated it. Luke Boca collides with Simeone. Now right wing, lefty shot, kick saved by Metcalf. Now left wing shot, and it's blocked by Utah as it rolls back towards the corner. Martin blocked the last shot as he battles 2-on-2 with Orlando. Tristan Langen spins along the boards. It rolls back to the right side, stays in as the Solar Bears retreat and make a line change. Utah gets the puck as they're to the far side. As the referee surveys 2 Grizzlies over there. Orlando comes out of the scrum with the puck. They feed it over to the left side as Jimmy Mazza backhand shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes back to Mazza. He feeds it across. Simeone picks it off. The Merrimack product will chip it off the near glass as Orlando back in the corner. They've been in the offensive zone a lot here in the third period. As Pregame with a shot saved by Metcalf, he gets it back. Now right side, Orlando skates in. They'll take a lefty shot saved by Metcalf as a Solar Bear goes down in the slot as Bryson Martin and Orlando has scored. Orlando has scored to make it a 4-1 game. As the puck was out in front, the referee pointed towards the goal line as Orlando high fives everybody. And it looks like scoring is Matthew Pregame, who had an assist in the first period. And it looks like he has scored his 10th goal of the season as he just kept hacking away. It looked like Bryson Martin was sitting on a Solar Bear, and Orlando, as they kept just hacking away, ended up putting the puck in the back of the net. Pregame, as Metcalf thought he had covered it up, took the puck away, and Cam Strong was in the area, and he just kind of glided it past the Utah goaltender and past the goal line. So 2 quick goals for Orlando as they now lead 4-1 with 13:34 left in the third. Looked like as Metcalf thought he was covering it up, a Solar Bear just kept hacking away 2 or 3 times on Metcalf, and the puck must have squirted loose. Then Pregame was in the crease and just kind of battled with Cam Strong, and then he got it and slided it across. They're going to look at this. It's a video replay. As now the referee comes out of the box, and he signals a good goal. Of course he does. It's 4-1 Solar Bears. 13:34 left in the third. As Utah was down by 1 heading into the third period, but 2 unanswered by Orlando. And Solar Bears with a 3-goal lead. And obviously on the road, it's tough to come back from that deficit. But for the Grizzlies, especially without Cameron Wright, just has to take it one shift at a time and see if they can climb back into this game. Draw at center ice is won by the Grizzlies. Andrew Nilsson back in his own end as he turns it over. Tyler Bird looking for a shot. Nilsson cuts in front of him. Raby is in the area. Nilsson pushes down Tyler Bird. No call on the play as Orlando to the left side chips it across. Solar Bears skate towards the right side. They feed it across. Utah picks it off. Andrew Nilsson moves ahead to McCallchuck, who trips up an Orlando skater, was incidental as Orlando wanted a penalty. Oh, they're going to get it. McCallchuck didn't even see the guy, but tripped him up. So it's going to be a delayed penalty, I believe. Now we get a fight. We get a fight on the far side as Andrew Nilsson, it looks like he's fighting 3 Solar Bears at about the same time. As linesmen try to step in, it looked like Andrew Nilsson off the screen. James Scherz over there looks like he's fighting somebody. Remember, we had 160 penalty minutes on Sunday, and 140 of them came in the final 4.5 minutes of competition. Orlando does lead the league with 35 major penalties this season. Now Harper wants to fight Keaton Jamison. Harper is pounding away on Jamison one right after another. And now Andrew Nilsson skates over there. Now Jamison tries to fight back with a right. Harper, another punch. Now 2 punches on Jamison. Now he keeps wailing away. The linesman got to step in. Harper drags down Jamison. As 13:01 is left in the third, as Dakota Raby, that was actually Raby that was taking punches from Harper. I saw the 2. And Dakota Raby and Harper, they were throwing punches at each other. Now Raby gets up and yells at Harper, and Raby held strong, but Harper just kept throwing punches, and I don't know why the linesman didn't step in. As Harper goes to the penalty box, Raby is furious at Harper. Harper yells something we probably can't repeat at Raby. Tyler Bird goes to the box as well. Harper continues to yell from the penalty box. Kind of easy to yell from there. Andrew Nilsson's in the box. Nilsson yells a few things at Tyler Bird, and those guys are furious. Andrew Nilsson points at the Orlando penalty box. There's 3 Solar Bears in the box, 3 Grizzlies in the box. Raby, Scher, and Raby are in the penalty box towards the left side of the screen. They're yelling at Orlando, and Orlando is yelling back at them. 13:01's left in the third. We knew at some point this thing was going to get heated up, and it looks like it's heating up right now. As Jamison was over there, and I thought that Harper had took Jamison, but instead he took Raby and just continued to punch him. And then Nilsson tried to step in, thought better of it, as Raby looked like, he had lost his helmet, but Raby just continued to keep fighting, and then eventually Raby got in a couple rights of his own. There's 3 Grizzlies and 3 Solar Bears in the penalty box, and at that point, I thought the linesman should have stepped in. As it looks like Raby, is just trying to hold on for dear life. I don't know where the linesman's probably had a different fight. This referee's just watching like as if he's got a ticket to the game and waited for somebody to go down before he stepped in. I mean, if you got one guy in a position like that where he's just taking it from, just taking one right after another, I mean, hats off to Raby for sticking with it. But, it's kind of a tough situation there. And at some point, the referee, it's normally the linesman that step in, but if the linesman's dealing with another fight, the referee's got to do some business of his own as well. There's 4 Grizzlies in the penalty box and 3 Solar Bears as Raby's continuing with a heated conversation with an Orlando player. As the Solar Bears lead 4-1, we're back in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Orlando leads 4-1. This play starting to get physical, very similar to how it got physical at the end of yesterday's game. And this is the last time these teams are going to meet each other this season. Whatever beef you have, you got to squash it, and you got a chance here in the final 13 minutes of play. And, it's hard to say because we only get to see some of the action, unfortunately. But I got to imagine the Grizzlies want to step up and really step forward. And we don't know who it was that threw that high shot at Cameron Wright. But we know that whoever it was, whether it's Harper or somebody else, they're going to have to eventually pay for it. And it's going to be 13 minutes left in regulation. Didn't really see what started, but because it was off the screen and Nilsson was over there fighting maybe 2 or 3 Solar Bears at the same time. And then, some other guys came in, and Harper, they continued to show the replay of Harper punching Dakota Raby. At that point, after like the 3rd or 4th shot, and Raby's just kind of almost on 2 knees, he stays on his feet. Referee's got to step in there. The referee waited for both guys to hit the ice before you step in there. But Dakota Raby, when he looked like he was ducking his head right there, just taking one punch after another from Chris Harper, did he look like he was in a position to kind of fight back? I mean, that's at the point where a referee's got to step in, and obviously you got a lot of young referees in the league, and John Linder, I think, is a decent referee, but, that's a situation where if the linesmen are dealing with another fight, you got to be the one that step in there and make sure you protect the players. That's really been the issue, and that's probably why this thing has gotten out of hand, because there wasn't a penalty on the right hit. We've seen some other occasions where we've seen some big hits that turn into injuries where we didn't see anything, we didn't even see penalties. And that's when games start to get out of hand, is when you let some of those things go. If a penalty gets called, I think both teams can kind of handle it and kind of move on from there. That's when you start seeing these enormous penalty minutes rack up, is when you don't make those sort of calls. That's just the way it is. So it looks like they're going to spend a lot of time and figure out what the penalties are and who's going to be on the power play. That same guy who just chugged 1 beer earlier looks like he's chugging a 2nd beer, and he's going to chug it pretty cleanly. Hopefully he's not driving home, as he got a beer from a guy in a yellow shirt and drank it pretty quickly. I think the time of that chug was about 8 seconds. As all the fans having a good time. I think there was more guys in the penalty box for the Grizzlies than there were Orlando, so I imagine Orlando's going to get a power play out of this. Remember, the Grizzlies and Allen Americans will start a 3-game series on Wednesday night. It's going to be a Bud Light College night. Speaking of Bud Light, looks like she's enjoying one as well on the screen. She's drinking it slowly, though. She's not thinking about drinking it all in 8 seconds. She spent a lot of money on that beer. Obviously, she wants to take her time. She's thinking about chugging it. She's going really slowly with it. But don't forget, Bud Light College night's going to be on Wednesday. The weather is going to be pretty dangerous out there over the next couple of days. We're going to get as much snow as they say we are. So hopefully the weather will clear up enough to where we can get a good attendance, good crowd over on Wednesday night for the series opener. And don't forget, Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend presented by Mountain Land Supply Company is going to be on Friday and Saturday night, as Grizzlies will be wearing specialty jerseys. And it's going to be a white jersey with a little bit of purple mixed in. Quite a bit of purple mixed in. Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend presented by Mountain Land Supply Companies. We honor and remember those who are either braving cancer or lost their life to cancer. I lost my mom a couple months ago, and so it'll be a special weekend for me. Hopefully I'll come away with one of those jerseys. I can't afford one of those game-worn jerseys at the price they go for, but hopefully I can come away with one of those Grizzlies Fight Cancer jerseys. They're certainly good-looking. They're very similar to what we had in previous years. As there's a guy chugging a beer. There's another beer being chugged. We'd like to know if somebody's got a power play with 13:01 left in the third period. Oh, he chugged that beer in like 6 seconds. Boy, here's another guy. He's going to chug a beer as well. I guess that's what happens when you get the video feed. Now we're back to live action. I'm not sure how many skaters are on each side. There's 5 for the Grizzlies, and I think there's also 5 for Orlando. So all those penalties will offset, and we'll just replay first down. As the Grizzlies, it's football reference, obviously. So Orlando leads 4-1. They get it out to center ice. And no kidding, Sherlock, as Orlando to the far side gets the puck. The Solar Bears have scored 2 unanswered here in the third after Dylan Fitz made it a 2-1 game late in the second period for the Grizz. As Orlando crosses center ice near the bench area, left wing, and Samikin dumps it in. McDonald throws it back to the far side as the Grizzlies will move it ahead as it goes towards the far side. Penner holds up an Orlando skater, rolls back over to Utah as they cross center ice. McDonald skates down the middle. He gets blasted by Orlando. Now Pfizer gets it. And down the middle, take a shot, saved by Sparks. And Pfizer goes down. And we got a fight. Dylan Fitz is going to get in a fight against Jimmy Mazza. But the linesmen step in. They wouldn't let him fight. Mazza doesn't want to fight. Fitz kept his glove on. But there was a big-time hit delivered as McDonald was skating down the middle. And he got hit by 1, maybe 2 Solar Bears. Pfizer, he got hit, and my screen froze about the time he got hit, so I'm not sure about that one. But the trainer, Colin Lee, went out to look after Pfizer. Pfizer didn't have his helmet on. It looked like he was skating off the ice. 12:10 left in the third period as Orlando leads 4-1. We've seen a lot of physical action here in the third period. I got a feeling we're not done with all the physical stuff. As, of course, my screen froze, so I didn't really get to see the Pfizer hit as he was skating closer to the crease. He was pretty close to Garrett Sparks, took a shot, and it looked like Sparks made the save as Orlando leads 4-1. A Solar Bear fan has a sign on his phone. He's got a message. That's one of those, if you're the video board in Orlando, do you really show something like that? As the drop, 12:10 left in the third. I imagine there's a timeout on the ice. It looks like they've updated some of the penalties. Draw's going to get neutralized. We'll see if we can get some time to tell you what the penalties are during the next whistle. Grizzlies out to center ice after winning the faceoff. Simeone dumps it in. Sparks behind his net. He's played a good game, and he's an outstanding goaltender. Has some NHL experience with 3 different clubs. As Orlando to the right side will dump it in. As Utah chasing after us, Bryson Martin collides. Jordan Martell over there as well. And Jamison in the area. Orlando to the right side. Martin with a push as he gets physically, drags down a Solar Bear. And now we get a whistle. And looks like Martin's going to get a penalty as he was colliding with Brandon McCara. And Martin says a thing we can't repeat, and he skates to the penalty box. There are 5 Utah Grizzlies players in the penalty box right now. As Martin joins the other 4, it looks like he's got to take a special seat. There's 5 Grizzlies and 3 or 4 Solar Bears in the penalty box. With 11:41 left in the third, there might be more Grizzlies in the penalty box than there are on the bench right now. And there's a few Solar Bears there as well. As the draw is going to be over on the near side. It looks like Orlando's on a power play after Bryson Martin got a little bit too rough over in the far corner. As the draw won by Orlando, they lead 4-1. Solar Bears to the right side, spin it along the wall. Foguet lets it go as Grant mismatched to the left side, gets it poked away. Grizzlies gather it and clear it out. Yeah, they showed the Grizzlies bench for like half a second. There's only like 4 or 5 guys there right now. As remember, Cameron Wright is out of the game with an injury. Grizzlies nearest center ice, dump it back in. Sparks plays it behind his net. 11:15 and counting left in the third. Orlando has scored 2 unanswered here in the third. They lead 4-1. The Solar Bears scored the first 2 goals of the game. Dylan Fitz scored in between. As over to the right side, they drop it off. Pfizer pokes it over to the far side. Pfizer gets the puck. He gets taken away at neutral ice as Orlando comes back from right to left. As the Solar Bears skate over the line to the left point. They'll feed it over to the right side, taken back by Ballinson. He'll feed it to the right side now behind the net. Connor McDonald spins it towards the near side. Pfizer in the area as Orlando avoids him. Ballinson feeds it to the right side. Orlando will feed it to the far goal line. Solar Bears trying to chip it across, and it goes wide as they were looking for Chekovich. Now right side, Orlando. They look to center it to mismatch. Grizzlies poke it back towards the end boards. Big hit delivered by Orlando. Grizzlies gather it, and they'll bounce it off the Ballinson as it goes out to center ice. Orlando backs it out into their own zone. We're about halfway through the third period. As Matthew Barnaby out there, he scored a third period goal for Orlando. Now they feed it to the right side as the Solar Bears enter the offensive zone. They skate towards the corner. Though delivers a hit as it goes up top. Now to the right side for MacArthur. Now back up top. Now it goes back to Tyson Feist. His name is my name too. Over to the right side. Orlando chips it down the middle. It's a bounced off a Barnaby stick. Grizzlies will lift it out to center ice. Good poke check by Orlando. As if Fitz would have gotten it, he would have had a potential breakaway. As Orlando gathers it, as we got 9:48 and counting left in the third, Solar Bears I think we're still on the power play. Grizzlies build the wall at the blue line as Orlando's Barnaby dumps it in from center ice. And, if there's a Barnaby out there, he might be due to some of this physical action here later in the third period. Grizzlies run out to center ice. Orlando chips it ahead as Barnaby moves to his right. Orlando skates in over to the right circle, looks to center it. Grizzly goes down in the slot. Orlando with a lefty shot, and it goes wide. Barnaby throws it up top, and Maz with a righty shot, and it's blocked. Mazza gets it back. He skates towards the corner. He gets hit by Simeone. Maz is a big guy at 6'2", 195 pounds, looks bigger than that. Simeone holds him up. Orlando will chip it up top. Penalties over as it's a successful power penalty kill by the Grizzlies presented by Utah Disaster Cleanup. As Christian Simeone crosses center ice, he'll dump it in as both teams make a line change. As Orlando chases after it behind their net. Now turnover, Jamison, wraparound shot, and saved by Sparks as it goes back towards the end wall. Grizzlies chip it up top as Connor McDonald fires towards the net, and he scores! Grizzlies score to make it 4-2 as Connor McDonald from the right point fired away, and the Grizzlies get their second goal of the game. 8:45 left in the third, and Orlando leads 4-2. As McDonald fired towards the net, it might have gotten redirected by Keaton Jamison. It looked like a stick got in the way and bounced past Garrett Sparks. So either McDonald or Jamison picked up the goal as there's 8:45 left in the third period. As the Grizzlies have cut into the lead, it's now 4-2. The Grizzlies looking around and saying this one's not over yet. There's still a lot of time on the clock, but the Grizzlies just have to keep chipping away. As Connor McDonald from the right side scored, and it's either McDonald or Jamison that tallied Utah's second goal of the game. Now we're back to live action as Victor Bartley gains center ice. He'll throw it on to Garrett Sparks. Sparks covers up as Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. As Bartley was at the center ice logo, figured the Grizzlies didn't have anything there as Orlando was back defensively, so he just threw it to Sparks. A couple Grizzlies chasing after the goaltender to, if nothing else, get an offensive zone draw. And that's part of those subtle things that Victor Bartley does that makes him such a good player. As looks like they're continuing to show Chris Harper punch away at Dakota Raby. Like Raby really hung strong in that fight. Harper goes 6'3" and 201 pounds. Raby, not very big, listed at 5'10", 170. And just one of those where Nilsson thought about going over there and getting Harper because, Raby was giving up a ton of size on Harper, but Raby held strong. As Grizzlies win the draw, we get a whistle as the Solar Bear gets dragged to the ice. It looks like a penalty might be called on Utah. 8:29 left in the third. Interference is going to be the call. It looks like the Grizzlies going to the penalty box. And it's going to be Taryn Pfizer. Pfizer gets 2 minutes for interference. 8:29 left in the third. As it's a 4-2 game. So draw is going to come back towards Garrett Metcalf. They haven't posted who scored the goal. I think they're going to take a good look at it, the off-ice officials, to see if it's McDonald or if it's Keaton Jamison with the redirection. Either way, it's 4-2 Orlando. We're back in 20 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
4-2 Orlando. Like I said, they still haven't posted Utah's second goal because I think they're taking a look at it, the off-ice officials, to see if it's Connor McDonald getting his third of the season or if it's Keaton Jamison on the redirection out in front getting his ninth of the year. Orlando's on a power play as Taryn Pfizer got called for interference. Time of penalty, 11:31 into the third period. So Andrew Nilsson got 2 minutes for roughing. He got a misconduct. Raby got 5 for fighting. Sure, 2 minutes for roughing. And then, looked like Tyler Brodzinski got 2 minutes for roughing. Harper got 2 for instigating and 5 for fighting. All those penalties, 6:59 into the third period. We'll have a quiz on that during the postgame show. Orlando on the power plays. They got the puck on the left side. They feed it over to the left circle. Bartley's in the area, but Orlando, Foguet skates towards his right. He's now in the high slot. Now he drifts over to the far goal line, back down the middle. Now a righty shot goes wide. That was taken by Maxim Chekovich. Orlando centers it. Utah pokes it away. As Tyler Penner crosses center ice. Penner gets around an Orlando skater. He drives over to the right corner, stops, feeds the right circle for Jamison. Jamison gets pushed along the boards near Orlando's bench. Action still in the Solar Bears zone as Foguet takes it away from Jamison. 7:48 and counting left in the third. Orlando leads 4-2. The Solar Bears dropping off for Foguet. Skates down the middle, crosses center ice. MacArthur bounced it towards his right. It hit off a Grizzly skate. Now it rolls back to Orlando as they skate over to the left circle. Now in on Metcalf, and Garrett pokes it back to the right corner as Jaden Dureau was skating a little bit too close to Metcalf and lost the puck. Matthew Barnaby, left side, centers it. Utah takes it away. As the Grizz doing a good job denying the centering pass here in the third period as Cam Strong feeds it across to Fitz. One-timer, and it goes wide. Now Strong gets it back on the right side. Over to Fitz. He'll take a shot, and he scores! Dylan Fitz gets his second of the game, and it's a shorthanded tally as the Grizzlies have cut into the Orlando lead some more. It's 4-3. Well, a great effort by Cam Strong and Dylan Fitz. Out around the net, Orlando turned it over. Strong was on the right side, nudged it across to Fitz, who put it away. And you talk about sweet revenge on that second period goal for Fitz. Well, he gets even more revenge as he's cut into the lead some more. They gave Keaton Jamison the goal on Utah's second goal with McDonald and Simeone getting the assist, and Cam Strong is going to get an assist on Dylan Fitz's shorthanded goal with 7:13 left in the third. So it's just a one-goal game. It's still a 5-on-4 power play for Orlando as it draws at center ice. The Grizzlies have scored 2 unanswered as Orlando wins the draw. They'll throw it out to the right side as the Solar Bears will kick it off the skate of Simeone. It goes deeper in the Grizzlies zone. Utah feeds it across to McDonald behind Utah's net. McDonald skates towards the right side, and he'll nudge it towards Cam Strong, who clears it all the way deep into the Orlando zone. Sparks behind his net. We'll feed it to the far side as it's a one-goal contest with less than 7 minutes left in the third. The Solar Bears back behind their net. They're still on the power play. Grizzlies in the white jerseys tonight with black numbers and professional green trim as Orlando crosses center ice down the middle. Now they'll chip it to the right side as they step over the line as Maxim Chekovich spins it along the walls. It rolls back to the left side. As Penner delivers a hit, it goes to the left point. Orlando feeds it back to the right side. Now over to Ballinson. He'll get to the left circle. Langan with a shot saved by Metcalf. And puck still in play. Grizzlies have it. Fresh out of the box is Taron Fizer. He crosses center ice. We're skating 5-on-5. Fizer skates down the middle. He gets cut off. Sparks feeds the near side. Fizer gets tripped up. And is it going to be a penalty? I think it is. Slashing is actually going to be the call. Who's it going to be on? As Fizer was skating, he had to get around to Solar Bear, roll towards Sparks, and then Fizer got tripped up. And slashing is going to be the call. I think the door to the Solar Bears penalty box is open. I think it's going to be a Grizzlies power play. Who's going to the box? Langan is skating towards the penalty box. The Grizzlies have a power play. It's 4-3 Orlando. Can the Grizzlies get their first power play goal of the evening and tie the game after trailing 4-1? Boy, what a comeback attempt by the Grizzlies, showing great heart here in the third period. It was 4-1 Orlando. Keaton Jamison scored 11:15 into the third period as he redirected to Connor McDonald, shot Christian Simeone also with an assist. Dylan Fitz scored shorthanded, 12:47 in, and Cam Strong got the assist. And now the Grizzlies are on a power play. Aaron Tho feeds it across to Fizer. Now to the right side. They get it back up top for Fizer. Now to the high slot for Tho. Now to the left side. Grizzlies gathered after thinking about a shot. Now Tho, high slot, shot blocked by Orlando. Solar Bears, Tyler Bird couldn't clear it out. Martell to the right side. Back over to Fitz. It bounced off a Solar Bear, rolls to the near circle. Orlando gathers it and clears it out. Metcalf gets over to Aaron Tho. This would normally be Andrew Nilsson on the ice. Tho loses the puck, but Taron Fizer recovers to take it. As Fizer feeds over to the left side. Grizzlies enter the zones. They stop on the left point. They try to get it over towards Fitz. And he goes out to center ice as Jamison gets knocked down. Orlando gathers the puck. Grizzlies wanted a call there. Orlando feeds to the right side. One-timer and mismatch fanned on it. Didn't get much on it as it rolls towards the end board slowly. Jamison feeds it to the left side for Martell. Gains center ice. Martell skates towards his right. He'll chip it towards his left. Grizzlies gain the line. Tho stops in the left point as he dances around. He'll throw it to Martell. Martell back to Tho. He's on the left side. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Sparks. Rebound shot, a score! Dakota Raby's tied it up. Three unanswered by the Grizzlies. Dakota Raby got a rebound on an Aaron Tho shot. 5:03 left in the third as the Grizzlies, down 4-1, score three big goals to tie up the game. Tho fired towards the net. It kicked off a skate, and then Raby to the far side. Just put it away. Boy, what a comeback by the Grizzlies, who are looking for their fourth straight win. 5:03 left in the third as the Grizzlies get a power play goal. And boy, what a turnaround this game has been. We saw a lot of physical action a few minutes ago, and it looks like whatever happened gave the Grizzlies all sorts of momentum. Boy, what a third period. Orlando fans are shocked as the Grizzlies win the draw at center ice. Actually, we'll do the face-off. We'll do the draw over again. So the Grizzlies get a power play goal. Tho will get an assist as he fired the shot that bounced off of Sparks, and the rebound was taken by Dakota Raby, who got his 7th of the year. As the Grizzlies back in their own zone with the puck. Less than 5 minutes left in regulation. The Grizzlies with all sorts of momentum as we're tied at 4. Puck bounced off of Mikulchuk's stick as he had to extend forward at the Utah blue line. Orlando dumps it back in. Right side Solar Bears will take a right wing shot and a score. Well, Chekovich found Metcalf off balance a little bit, fired away from the right wing boards, and the Solar Bears retaking the lead with 4:43 left in the third. As the puck glided towards the far wing boards, and Orlando fans, they were stunned after giving up 3 unanswered, but they're back on their feet as the Solar Bears had the puck glide towards the right side, and then Chekovich, Metcalf played the puck behind his net. He couldn't reach it. Chekovich took the shot before Metcalf could get back in his net, could get back in his crease. That's what happened. And that's why Orlando leads as puck glided along the boards from the near side to the far side. Metcalf couldn't cut it off, and Chekovich fired towards the net before Metcalf could recover and get back in his net, back in his crease. So Chekovich scores. It's 5-4 Orlando. Solar Bears throwing out to the left wing. They cross center ice. Now they gain the line. Solar Bears skate towards the right circle. They'll take a backhand shot, and that one goes wide. Grizzlies gather it as Pfizer crosses center ice. Right wing gets it to Jamison. Jamison fires towards the net, and it goes wide as the puck glides towards the far boards. Bryson Martin over to Raby. Raby scored the goal to tie it up 4-4, but Orlando leads 5-4. Raby nudges to his right, but Orlando gathers it. Solar Bears cross center ice, and they'll chip it over to the left corner. And Metcalf cuts it off as the Grizzlies feed an outlet pass out to the left wing. And looks like it doesn't connect as Orlando throws it back the other way. Now the Grizzlies gather it. They're in their own end as Kyle Pouncey, with less than 4 minutes left in regulation, crosses center ice. He gets dragged down by MacArthur. No call as Orlando dumps it back in onto Metcalf. Garrett covers up as Tyler Bird chases after him. 3:42 left in the third period. It's Orlando 5 and Utah 4. What a wild third period this has turned out to be. There's a timeout on the ice. We're back in 30 seconds. To find out how this one ends, the Solar Bears lead the Grizzlies 5-4 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Crazy third period as Orlando leads 5-4. Solar Bears had a 4-1 lead after Foguet scored 6:26 into the third period. Keaton Jamison scored 11:15 into the third as he redirected a Connor McDonald shot. Dylan Fitz cut into the lead with a shorthanded tally and a pass from Cam Strong. Fitz is second of the game and 12th of the season. Then Utah tied it up as Dakota Raby got a power play goal, 14:57 in the third. The original shot was taken by Aaron Tho, who picked up an assist. Jordan Martell also with an assist. But 20 seconds after Raby tied it up, puck glided along the boards, and Garrett Metcalf tried to play it behind his net and couldn't get the puck as it rolled towards the right side, and Chekovich fired it past Garrett Metcalf and into the back of the net before Metcalf was able to recover. As 3:34 is left in the third, and it looks like we get a whistle at center ice, as it looks like offside is called. As a crazy third period here, Orlando leads 5-4, and the draw is going to be in the far side at neutral ice in Orlando territory. Remember, the Grizzlies will take on the Allen Americans later this week, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, Two big, those are big games in the standings. The Grizzlies right now in 5th place in the Mountain Division as Utah wins the draw. Glided along the boards. It's to the far side. Cam Strong battles. So's Martell. As the puck goes to Aaron Tho, left wing shot, and it gets blocked. As Ballinson was in the area, Tho couldn't get a full shot off as the puck glides along the near boards. Grizzlies gather it in their own zone. 3:08 left in the third as Orlando leads 5-4. Shearer spins it towards the far side. Orlando chips it back in. Shearer chases after it as Orlando back defensively. Less than 3 minutes left in the third. James Shearer feeds it to the near side as the Grizzlies will throw it to the left side. Pass didn't connect, and all the way down for an icing is the Grizzlies with 2:50 left in the third. So the draw is going to come back towards Garrett Metcalf. A lot of shots taken by the Solar Bears here tonight. At least 43 by Orlando. As Orlando last count, it looks like Orlando has now outshot Utah 45-37. As Garrett Metcalf has stopped 40 of 45. Orlando's Garrett Sparks has stopped 33 of 37. Attendance over at Amway Center, 4,269. 42-69 over at Amway Center. Draw's going to be in the left near circle of the Grizzlies zone. Grant Mismash, 6 feet, 184 pounds. He's a -7 this year. He'll take the draw. He wins it cleanly. Michael Brodzinski will take a righty shot, saved by Metcalf. His rebound goes out to the left corner. Aaron Tho holds up an Orlando skater as Grizzlies come out with the puck. Cam Strong will throw it past Martell as it ricochets off the near glass. Goes all the way down, no icing. As Harper gets it. Chris Harper, who got in a fight with Dakota Raby earlier in the third period, will feed it to the near side. Now pass picked off by the Grizz. McCallchuck slot shot and is blocked by Harper. Arm is raised by the referee, and it's going to be a penalty, and it's going to be on Orlando. Fitz will throw it to McDonald, right side, fires towards the net. It goes wide off the glass as Harper skates over there, touches up the puck. The Grizzlies are going to get a power play. 2 minutes for hooking. 2:14 left in the third. So Utah, who has one power play goal here tonight, will have a chance with 2:14 left in the third as Orlando leads 5-4, but a penalty was called on the Solar Bears. And obviously we'll see if it's even humanly possible on this remote broadcast to see if Garrett Metcalf will come off for the extra skater. Utah is 1 for 7 on the power play. Orlando is 1 for 6. Keaton Jamison will take the draw against Orlando's Luke Boca. Orlando leads by 1 goal. 5-4 is the score. As the draw won by the Grizzlies. As Aaron Tho feeds it across to Pfizer. One-timer, and it's blocked. Luke Boca gets it. Now McCallchuck as the puck deflects out of the zone. Garrett Metcalf still in there for the Grizzlies. 2 minutes left in regulation. Grizz are on the power plays. Tho will drop it back off for Pfizer. Still in the Grizzlies zone. Pfizer will hand it off to Tho, back to Pfizer. He gains the line to the left side. Grizzlies getting creative and entering the zone on the power play. Puck behind the net. Jimmy Mazza feeds it to the far side. And Orlando clears it out as they make a line change. Metcalf still in there as he'll nudge it ahead. As Aaron Tho gathers it. Tho will skate towards his left. It would normally be Nilsson on this power play shift. As Tho feeds it across to Jamison to the right side. Keaton enters as he gets held up along the corner as Jimmy Mazza wouldn't let him get to the corner. Martell spins it to the far side. Puck exits the zone. As it glides along the far wing boards, Terran Pfizer gets it. 1:20 left in the third. He'll chip it to his left as Metcalf's still in there. 1:15 left in the third. As a Grizz will throw a left wing pass out to center ice. And no icing as the Solar Bears chase after it. They get there before Raby. Grizzlies, the Solar Bears couldn't clear it out. High slot, Jamison shot, and it goes wide off the glass. Orlando gathers it, less than a minute left in regulation. Harper fires towards an empty net, and it goes wide. Fitz gets it, and remember, Orlando's shorthanded, so they can do that without any repercussion of an icing. Pass ahead, Grizzlies have a breakaway. Raby will take a shot, he scores! Grizzlies tied up! As a long-range pass connected to Dakota Raby, who gets his second power play goal here in the third period. And what a sequence for the Grizzlies, as they score 4 goals in the third period to tie it up at 5. Raby had a breakaway after the long-range pass connected. Fake to his right, went to his left, and fired the puck over the right shoulder of Garrett Sparks. What a third period for the Grizzlies. They get their second power play goal of the third period. What an incredible game this has turned out to be. As Utah is now 2 for 7 on the power play. We'll see who gets credited with the assist on the Raby goal. But the long-range pass to Raby down the middle connected. He had a breakaway from about the offensive blue line in. We're tied at 5. Grizzlies skate down the middle. Utah will skate towards Sparks as a collision with Sparks and a Grizzly as Cam Strong couldn't get the shot off. Grizzlies to the left side as they fire towards the net. Glove saved by Sparks. Shot was taken from the left point as Sparks gloves it. As Victor Bartley took the shot. 28 seconds left in the third. Utah and Orlando are tied at 5. One of the craziest games we've seen all year. Maybe as crazy as the game we saw in early January over in Rapid City. That ended in overtime with the Rapid City winning. A lot of crazy stuff happened in that game with Pfizer scoring in the final minute to cause regulation. Fitz was the one that threw the long-range pass to Raby. As Fitz 2 goals and 1 assist here tonight against his former team. Orlando lifts it out of play as they're in their own zone. As a delay of game, the Grizzlies wanted it. As there's 28 seconds left, or there's 23 seconds left in the third period. I think the officials said it bounced off the glass, so no delay of game. As the draw is going to be in the Orlando zone. 23 seconds left in regulation. Orlando at one point had a 4-1 lead, but the Grizzlies have scored 4 goals, including 2 power play tallies by Dakota Raby, as it's a 5-5 game. As Cam Strong will take the draw, Utah wins it, but it exits the zone. 20 seconds left. As they get it back to the near side for Bryson Martin. He'll move it ahead to Pfizer at center ice. It bounced off of him. Grizzlies enter the zone. Penner will ricochet off the far boards. Grizzlies, 10 seconds left. They feed it back to the left point. Redirection shot. Kick saved by Sparks. 3 seconds left. Orlando gets the puck, and they'll watch the time run out. And that will do it for regulation. And to say that after Orlando took a 4-1 lead that we'd be headed to overtime, I'd say we'll take that all day, any day. The Grizzlies score 4 goals in the third period. And I was a little bit concerned after Orlando took a 5-4 lead after Utah had scored. Orlando got the momentum back, but the Grizzlies got a power play. They emptied the net, and Dylan Fitz with a rink-wide pass down the middle that connected to Dakota Raby. Raby made a nice move, faking to his right, going to his left to tie the game at 5 in the final minute of regulation, and we head to overtime. What a game this has turned out to be. For the Grizzlies, it's the 5th game past regulation this year. The Grizzlies are 2-2. In overtime situations this season. We'll skate 3-on-3, 7 minutes of overtime in the ECHL. And for the Grizzlies, Dakota Raby's going to have to play a big factor in this overtime session. Checking to see how many overtime games your Solar Bears have played in so many overtime games this year. This is the 16th game that the Solar Bears have played past regulation. For the Grizzlies, it's only their 5th. 7 minutes on the overtime clock. The fans in Orlando are stunned. They don't know what to do. They can't even cheer when their names are there when they see themselves on the video board. They're already out of beer. They can't chug any more beer. And, they're happy. I'm not sure they really care who wins this game. Some of the fans are still happy they're on the video board, but they're stunned. Their home team led 4-1. Halfway through the third period, the Grizzlies just kept chipping away. The Raby goal was scored 19-14 into the third period. Dylan Fitz has 2 goals and 1 assist. We've started overtime. Grizzlies are skating from right to left. They have the puck. Darren Pfizer will throw it to the far side. Now rink-wide pass to the left as Jamison crosses center ice. He gains the line as he skates towards the corner. Jamison around the net. As he's to the right side, as he gets cut off by mismatch. Jamison keeps the puck. He trying to get over to Nilsson, who's out of the box after serving a misconduct. Brodzinski, right side, steps over the offensive line. Skates towards the right side. Now around Utah's net. Tries to center it. A bounce off of Nilsson. Now in front of Utah's net. Pfizer gets it. Pfizer fakes to his right. He skates down the middle. Pfizer drifts over to the right. Now he feeds a pass to the right side. Jamison over to Pfizer. Skates towards the left side. Pfizer will take a shot. Saved by Sparks. Rebound goes out to the near corner. Pfizer gets it back. As he'll chip it across to Nilsson. Andrew skates towards the right side. Take a shot. And it goes wide. Fits in the area. As I think the puck ended up deflecting out of play off the protective netting as we get a whistle with 6:07 left in overtime. Draw's going to be in the Orlando zone. It's good to see Andrew Nilsson back on the ice. He served a misconduct, and the misconduct expired. So he was able to play here in the first shift of overtime. We're tied at 5. 6:07 left in the extra session. Orlando wins the draw. Both teams have one standing point, at least who gets that second one. Harper skates down the middle. He's to the right side. Now he continues to skate down the middle. Now he steps over the blue line and veers off to the left. He'll spin it to the right side as the Solar Bears, who are playing their 16th game past regulation. They'll back it out into their own zone. 5:48 and counting left in overtime. Orlando falls down. They feed it to the right side. Fitz chases after it, and Orlando gets there first. The Solar Bears chip it over to the right side as Orlando will skate down the middle. They'll step over the line as Chekovic skates towards the right corner. He's surrounded by two Grizzlies. Chekovic turns the puck over. Dylan Fitz skates down the middle. He'll ricochet off the near boards. Raby overskates it. The pass is behind him. Chekovic gets it. Right side feeds it down the middle. Orlando couldn't get a lefty shot off. That was Balancing. Now Balancing gets it back. Left wing shot saved by Metcalf. Puck squirts free towards the blue line. Orlando chases after it. They'll back it out and get it to center ice as Balancing back in his own zone. Grizzlies make a line change. Sure enters as Orlando will cross over the line to the right side. As Balancing, right circle, gets around the net. He's being defended by Shearer. As Balancing chips up top to Foguet. He's had a good game as he'll skate towards the right circle, take a righty shot. They got redirected off the skate of Fitz as Orlando keeps it in their left point. Solar Bears back to the right side. 4:45 in overtime as Braden Guy will throw it back to the right point. As Solar Bears patient with their approach. Brodzinski throws it to Foguet. He's now in the left circle. Foguet tries to find Brodzinski cutting in front of the net. Pass goes wide as Brodzinski gets it off the boards. He's on the right side, throws it over to Foguet just outside the right circle. Now across to the left side. Orlando gets it back to the high slot. Foguet skates towards his right. Now he's towards the right circle, gets around Fitz. And he tried to feed it across to Guy, and it goes through the crease and over towards the far boards. Guy gets it, throws it to Brodzinski. He's on the right side. 4:15 left in overtime. We're tied at 5. Brodzinski throws it to a cutter out in front of the net. It's MacArthur. He skates towards his left. He takes a shot, and he scores. And Bennett MacArthur gets the extra standing point as he fired a lefty shot from down the middle, and he gets his 6th of the season. And Orlando avoided danger there. They gave the Grizzlies a standing point, but they get the 6-5 victory, and Bennett MacArthur is the hero tonight. And Utah's now lost 3 straight overtime games over the last couple months as MacArthur just got around Dylan Fitz to the left side and fired a glove side past Garrett Metcalf. Well, the Grizzlies were down 4-1 and salvaged a standing point out of it. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get that second point. As Orlando gets a 6-5 victory, postgame show coming up next. Once again, the final score, Orlando 6, Utah 5 in overtime as the Grizzlies get a standing point. They now have 47 standings points on the season, which are 2 behind Allen for 4th place in the Mountain Division. And with the victory, Orlando picks up 2 standings points. They are now in 5th place in the South Division as they pass the Atlanta Gladiators. Final score, Orlando 6, Utah 5. Postgame show starts in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. It's got to be a candidate for the wildest game of the year, at least that the Grizzlies have played in. Orlando wins 6-5 in overtime as the Grizzlies overcame a 4-1 deficit, scored 4 goals in the third period to tie it up at 5. Utah went 2 for 8 on the power play. Orlando was 1 for 6. But Bennett MacArthur got the overtime game winner, assisted by Michael Brodzinski and Braden Guy, 2:51 into overtime. For MacArthur, it's his 6th goal of the season. Brodzinski and Guy, we mentioned, got the assist. Brodzinski's 34th assist of the year. And for Braden Guy, it's his 11th assist of the season. And the Grizzlies' 3-game winning streak comes to an end, but they now have a standing point in 5 straight games. They head to Amway Center for a big 3-game series against the Allen Americans beginning on Wednesday night. And obviously the Grizzlies used a ton of energy, and it's going to be a quick turnaround. Obviously a cross-country flight tomorrow. Hopefully they'll make it safe as the weather looks like it's going to be bad here in the Salt Lake Valley. Then the Grizzlies, quick turnaround, have to play against the Allen Americans, who look like they're playing good hockey. They played outstanding against the Florida Everblades last weekend. And really for the Grizzlies, you have to tip your hat to them because they trailed 4-1, and it looked like it was bleak. It looked like there was no chance of coming back. But the Grizzlies just kept chipping away. The scoring started 17:03 into the first period as Jaden DeRue got his 5th of the year. Matthew Pregame with the assist. Orlando led 1-0 after one period. The Solar Bears outshot the Grizzlies 18-4. In the second period, Tristan Langen scored his 14th of the season. Harper and Chekovic with the assists. The time of that goal was 4:40 in. That gave Orlando a 2-0 lead. Grizzlies got on the board 13:35 in as Dylan Fitz scored his first of 2 goals in the game. James Shearer and Cam Strong with the assists. Cam Strong that was actually Shearer that had the main assist as he was in the right circle, centered it to Fitz, and then Fitz was able to put it away before Garrett Sparks knew what hit him. And so for Dylan Fitz, it has to be sweet revenge. I mean, obviously, he would have much rather had the victory on the scoreboard than 2 goals and 1 assist, but Dylan Fitz was outstanding against his former team. Fitz got his 11th of the year and first of 2 of the game, 13:35 into the second period. Matthew Barnes and the Solar Bears did lead 2-1 after 2 periods. The Grizzlies did outshoot the Solar Bears 18-13 in the second period. But when the score was 2-0, Cameron Wright got hit with a high hit by somebody on the Solar Bears in the near side near the goal line of the Grizzlies offensive zone, and Cameron Wright did not return to the game. Didn't even get a penalty. Hopefully there's going to be a suspension there because if Cameron Wright can't play in the next game, then hopefully the guy that delivers the hit can't play in the next game either for Orlando. It's happened too many times where we've seen guys just get hit up high, and hopefully the league does something about this one as Cameron Wright did not return to the game. And remember, Cameron Wright has been outstanding in the previous 4 games, scoring 6 goals and 1 assist. So Orlando led 2-1 after 2 periods. We did not see Cameron Wright for the second half of the game. And hopefully he'll be okay, and hopefully we'll see him on Wednesday night when the Grizzlies take on the Allen Americans. Matthew Barnaby, the son of the former NHLer, scored 5:01 into the third period with Tyler Bird and Jaden DeRue getting the assist. And then Pregame got his 10th of the season and first of 2 in the game, or actually just scored 1 goal tonight, but he also contributed on some assists. So he scored 6:26 into the third period, DeRue with the assist. And at that point, 6:26 into the third period, Orlando led 4-1. You knew it was going to be tough to come back from that sort of deficit. It was possible if the Grizzlies just kept chipping away, and they did so. I wonder, there was a big-time brawl, 6:59 into the third period, where there was quite a few penalties. I wonder if that woke up the Grizzlies. Now, remember, there was that sequence, 3 Grizzlies and 3 Solar Bears were in the penalty box. Raby, Nilsson, and another guy were in the box just yelling at Orlando, and 3 Solar Bears were yelling back at Utah. That fired up the Grizzlies, and I think was instrumental. I don't know how instrumental it was, but I think that played a little bit of a factor in waking the Grizzlies up and really motivating them to come back in this game. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe both teams just kind of skate out the final 13 minutes, and Orlando cruises to victory. Hard to really say what would happen if that fight didn't take place. The most notable portion of that fight was Chris Harper punching Dakota Raby, and Harper's got a big size advantage on Raby, and Raby just continued to keep his feet. The referee probably should have stepped in earlier than he did, but there was just something there. Serving penalties, 6:59 in, Michalchuk, Nilsson, Raby, and Shearer, and then for Orlando, Bird, Brodzinski, and Harper. Harper got 2 minutes for instigating and 5 for fighting, and that was all 6:59 into the third period. And so it stayed a 4-1 game till the second half of the third frame. Keaton Jamison scored his 9th of the year as he redirected a Connor McDonald shot. As McDonald's shot came from the right point, he got redirected by Keaton Jamison's stick out in front. Christian Simeone also got an assist, which is his 2nd of the season. For Jamison, it's his 9th goal, and for Connor McDonald, his 12th assist of the year. And at that point, it was still 4-2 Orlando. But then the Grizzlies, a minute and a half later, 12:47 in. In fact, it was 1 minute and 32 seconds later. The Grizzlies were shorthanded after Taryn Fizer got an interference minor. It was a 2-on-2, and Orlando turned the puck over deep in their own zone. Cam Strong was on the right side, got the puck, fed it across to Dylan Fitz, who was on the left, and Fitz put it away for his 2nd of the game and 12th of the season. And for Cam Strong, he ended the night with 2 assists and was a +1 for the Grizzlies. And for Dylan Fitz, what a reunion over in Orlando, where he played just about 3 seasons. He actually was in 129 games. with the Solar Bears. He was traded to the Grizzlies late last season. Dylan Fitz 2 goals and 1 assist for the Grizzlies, but he wasn't done after scoring those 2 goals. And when he scored shorthanded, 12:47 into the third, it was a 4-3 Orlando lead with the Grizzlies scoring 2 unanswered. 2 minutes, 10 seconds later, the Grizzlies were on a power play, and Aaron Tho was towards the left side, took a shot, it bounced off of Sparks and rolled towards the left circle. Dakota Raby picked it up and put it away for his 7th of the year, and that tied the score at 4. And Utah went 2 for 8 on the power play. That was Utah's first power play of the contest. And just like that, a 4-1 game turned into a 4-4 contest. The Grizzlies scored 3 goals in the span of 3 minutes and 42 seconds. 3 minutes, 42 seconds was all it took for the Grizzlies to score 3 goals and overcome a 4-1 deficit. But then it just took 20 seconds after Raby had scored to tie the game for Orlando to respond. Puck was on the near boards and glided along the wall. Metcalf was behind his net trying to stop it. He didn't stop it. Metcalf usually plays the puck pretty well behind his net. It rolled towards the far side. Chekalev got the puck, or Chekovich. He got the puck on the right side, and before Metcalf was able to recover and get back in his crease, Chekovich fired a shot and went past the goal line and into the back of the net, and that gave Orlando a 5-4 lead. Time of that goal, 15-17 into the third. Grizzlies got a late power play in the third frame as Grant Mismatch got a hooky minor, 17:46 in, and Metcalf had exited the ice. The Grizzlies had the extra attacker. Dylan Fitz was at his own goal line, threw a rink-wide pass down the middle, and somehow got past everybody to Dakota Raby. Pass went tape to tape. Raby got the puck, faked to his right, went to his left, and then fired it past Garrett Sparks. For Raby, that's his 2nd goal of the game, and for Fitz, his first assist, as Fitz had 3 points on the evening. He had 2 goals and 1 assist. He now has 12 goals and 11 assists this season. And for Dakota Raby, scoring 2 goals, he's certainly been big, and I don't think it's just a coincidence. The Grizzlies lost all 5 games to start February, and Raby didn't play. Now, all of a sudden, the Grizzlies get Raby back as he returned to the lineup last Wednesday against Greenville. And Utah won 3 of the 4 games and picked up a big standing point in the 4th, overcoming a 4-1 deficit. And Raby, he played a big part in the Grizzlies' third period comeback. So the time of Raby's goal was 19:14 into the third, or with 46 seconds left in regulation. And so that you talk about having some momentum heading to overtime. I mean, we talk about the Grizzlies not necessarily facing overtime all that much. It's just Utah's 5th overtime game this season. For Orlando, it's their 16th game past regulation. So they looked like a team that had been very much accustomed to playing past regulation, very much used to playing 3-on-3 hockey. Action went back and forth. Both teams had 1 shot in overtime. But then Orlando got the puck with Bennett McArthur, as he scored 2:51 into the overtime session. Brodzinski and Braden Guy with the assists. So he just kind of skated towards the left circle and went glove side on Garrett Metcalf, and that was the deciding factor in the game. It's one of those where there's a lot of penalty minutes. Utah looks like they had 33 penalty minutes. Orlando had 27. So the Grizzlies now lead the league in penalty minutes, as they were 2 back of Allen for the penalty minute lead coming into play tonight. And Utah with 33 penalty minutes. They're the new leader in the clubhouse in penalty minutes. In New Orlando, a team that led the league with 35 major penalties this year. It was a physical third period. We saw all that action, 6:59 in. For the Grizzlies, they just kept chipping away. Found that redirection with Keaton Jamison, and then were able to score 2 more to tie up the game. And then once Orlando made it 5-4, the Grizzlies had to dig a little bit deeper to find a way to tie the game. And you talk about 2 guys that are unbelievable, Dylan Fitz and Dakota Raby in particular, in that third period, kind of willing the Grizzlies back in the game. And, you hate to use the term, at least we got a standing point out of it. But in a situation like this, when you trail 4-1, you'll take the standing point. It's a lot better than getting no standings points, which certainly looked like it was going to be the case halfway through the third period. Grizzlies just kept chipping away. And even though it looks like Orlando had 3 guys that were listed in the 3 stars of the game, we'll do a Grizzlies version of 3 stars because you're talking about so many guys factoring in. And even though the Grizzlies lost tonight, 6-5. They did get a standing point in a game where it looked like, 50 minutes into the contest, they weren't going to get a standing point. And hats off to the Grizzlies for continuing to battle back and pick up a point in the final game of the road trip. So in the 6 games, looks like the Grizzlies ended up with a record of 3-1-2. So they got a standing point in 5 of these 6 road games. And in fact, a standing point in 5 straight after losing 7-1 in the first game in Rapid City on February 10th. And you hope for the Grizzlies that fight, that effort, that carries over into the Allen series. There's no doubt the Grizzlies might be a tired team coming into Wednesday's game in Allen, the first of the 3-game set, the Bud Light College night at 7:10. Because after all, the Grizzlies, poured out a lot of energy here tonight against Orlando, maybe as much energy as they've used in any game this season. Now you got to get on a cross-country flight, go from sunny, warm Florida, come back to the Salt Lake Valley. There's going to be really bad weather over the next couple days, according to all the weathermen and weatherwomen out there, all the meteorologists. And so the Grizzlies got to come back, play a rested Allen team. I don't think it's played since Saturday. I think that's the last time the Allen Americans were on the ice, where they took on Florida, and they played pretty well against the Everblades. So Grizzlies, quick turnaround, and we don't really know about the availability of Cameron Wright, even though we know that he got hit up high. And on a similar hit that we saw Dakota Raby take in late January, not to compare the two because there's no way to compare 2 hits like that with 2 different players, Raby ended up missing 5 games. We don't really know what the availability of Cameron Wright, the Grizzlies' leading goal scorer, what his availability is for this Allen series. But I guess it just remains to be seen. But a big standing point for the Grizzlies. They are now 2 back of Allen. And that's, you talk about the importance of this series. I mean, we don't want to, over dramatize it. But the Grizzlies do need these standings points later this week. The Allen Americans right now are in 4th place in the Mountain Division with 49 standings points. They've got an even 500-point percentage. And that matters because the top 4 teams in each division reach the playoffs. So right now that's the threshold. Allen is in 4th, Utah is in 5th. Well, the Grizzlies picked up a point tonight. They now have 47 standings points through 49 games. Allen has also played 49 games. So essentially the Grizzlies are 1 game back of Allen for 4th place in the Mountain Division. So obviously 3 games on home ice, and the Grizzlies want to get some revenge, as after all, Allen outscored Utah something like 18-4 in the 3-game set in the first weekend of February. So the Grizzlies want some payback from Allen. And remember, the series got ultra physical. In fact, it was a pretty physical series in all 3 games between the Grizzlies and Americans, but we all remember the goalie fight and all the fights that happened in the final 3 minutes of regulation in the February 4th game. Now, Allen ended up winning 8-1, but the Grizzlies, set a physical tone. And Allen earlier today, I think it was interesting to note that they traded for Stephon Fournier from the Wichita Thunder. Well, Fournier is a big guy. He's like 6'5", 6'6", and he's known to be a physical presence. I would think because of his size that Fournier ends up taking the role that was going to be Spencer Asachuk's. Asachuk, is not on the Allen roster anymore, and he was with the Americans for close to a decade. He was probably a similar type of player to what Stephon Fournier is going to play for Wichita. Just a big body who can play really physical, and so Allen added a little bit of beef to their forward lineup and a bit of size. We'll see if that ends up playing a factor, and it sounds like Fournier is going to be ready to go for the Americans on Wednesday when they take on the Grizzlies. So we'll see if that plays a factor 2 nights from now. But, it's certainly one of those interesting games. And I think in terms of an entertainment value, this might be as entertaining a Grizzlies game as we've seen all season. Unfortunately, from the Grizzlies' perspective, they came out on the wrong end of a 6-5 overtime thriller as Orlando got the 2 standings points. But, as I said, overcoming a 4-1 deficit and then, scoring the game-tying goal, allowing one 20 seconds later to come back and tie it up in the last minute of regulation. You did come away with something tonight. Obviously, it's a loss in the column, but it's not a regulation loss. I never liked moral victories, but Grizzlies got something out of this. And I always use the analogy of how stupid it is to give a team a standing point for losing a hockey game in overtime. Because you think about it, if a team loses in overtime every single game, they go 0-72, they're a 500 team. They didn't win a single game, but they're a 500 team. Because if you think about it, with standings points, there's 2 possible every game. Well, if you force overtime and lose, you get one of those 2 standings points. So essentially, the Grizzlies don't lose too much by not getting that, by just getting the one standing point. And for the Grizzlies, you just kind of inch a little bit closer to the Allen Americans. Now they're just 2 points back in fourth place in the ECHL's Mountain Division. Well, let's give you the 3 stars of the game. It's all Orlando Solar Bears on their side, but we'll give you our version of the 3 stars. According to Orlando, the 3rd star is Maxim Chekovich, as he had 1 goal and 1 assist and was a +2. The number 2 star, Jaden Daru. He had 1 goal and 2 assists, 14 minutes and penalties. He's the number 2 star. And the number 1 star is Bennett MacArthur, who got the game winner. That was the only point MacArthur had in the game, and he was a -1. But he got the game winner in overtime, 2:51 in, and he's the number 1 star of the game. If we're doing our own version of 3 stars, yeah, we'll give Orlando 1. We'll give Chekovich, or maybe we'll give Jaden Daru 1 goal and 2 assists. He'd be our 3rd star. Number 2 star would be Dakota Raby with the 2 goals, including the game-tying tally. Really, Dylan Fitz, the job he did, 2 goals and 1 assist against his former team. He's our version of the number 1 star of the game. So even though the Grizzlies went 2 for 8 on the power play, Orlando went 1 for 6. So the Grizzlies did win that battle. And remember, the Grizzlies also had a shorthanded goal. So 3 of their 5 goals were in non-5-on-5 situations. And they just have to tip your hat to Orlando. They played a lot better, and they showed a lot more energy than they did on Sunday. They made some adjustments, and the Grizzlies really took them a little bit to handle those adjustments. But ultimately, the Grizzlies were able to play an aggressive game in the 3rd period. That's usually when Utah is at its best, is when they're playing ultra-aggressive like that. So Grizzlies come away with a standing point. Orlando wins 6-5. Well, that'll about wrap things up as I'm hanging out in the lobby at Amway Center. And thanks for hanging with us on YouTube. I think the Orlando Solar Bears actually listened to me. They actually kept it with the same camera angle for a lot of the game, a lot more than they did on Sunday. I do appreciate the patience if you're just listening on YouTube, as unfortunately we missed some of the details, especially stuff away from the puck. But we're just able to have some fun. That's all we're trying to do here, is have some fun. And we saw a pretty entertaining hockey game tonight, and the folks on YouTube listened to an entertaining hockey game tonight. The Grizzlies overcame a 4-1 deficit and then overcame a 5-4 deficit after scoring 3 unanswered and coming away with a standing point. That's the sort of character. That's the sort of heart. That's an old hockey cliche that I don't necessarily like. Every time somebody wins a game, it's a character win. For the Grizzlies, it might just be a character loss. Like, it's just, the battle back and get a standing point. That's, it's really what you want to do. You don't want to go down 4-1, and obviously you want to win that overtime game and get the extra standing point. But for the Grizzlies, they showed a lot of heart coming back in this game. When it could have been easy halfway through the 3rd period, just say, hey, let's just skate out the time. Let's not get hurt. Let's see if we can find a way to bounce back 2 nights from now against Allen. I think it's refreshing to see the Grizzlies continuing to chip away, take it 1 shift at a time, and battle back in this game. And because of that, you can say the Grizzlies did earn the standing point here this evening, even though they lost 6-5. Well, that'll wrap things up here as we're in the lobby at Amway Center. The Grizzlies are over 2 time zones away to the east, as they're in Orlando, Florida, at Amway Center, which is the same building that the Orlando Magic play in. Fun fact, I think the people that own the Orlando Solar Bears are the Orlando Magic. As the Solar Bears and Grizzlies did battle. Remember, the Grizzlies did beat Orlando 4-0 in 1996 to win the Turner Cup back in the old IHL. Once again, in 2 hours and 44 minutes and in front of a crowd of 4,269, Utah Grizzlies overcame a 4-1 deficit and a 5-4 deficit to force overtime. But Bennett MacArthur got the game winner, 2:55 into overtime on a lefty snipe from the left circle. It went glove side past Garrett Metcalf. Garrett stopped 41 of 47. Orlando's Garrett Sparks saved 36 of 41. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast, if not necessarily the final outcome. Next broadcast of Grizzlies hockey will be on Wednesday night. I'll be joined by Guy Carenza, who's off on assignment. In fact, the Grizzlies got standings points in 4 straight games without Guy. I'm going to have to give him a little bit of grief for that. As the Grizzlies played pretty well with him on assignment. He might have to be on assignment later on when the Grizzlies need a victory. Just kidding. As, the Grizzlies played some good hockey on the road. They ended up with standings points in 5 of 6 games and a record of 3-1-2. So Grizzlies return home for a huge 3-game series against the Allen Americans. Pregame coverage begins at 6:50. Face-off at 7:10 here in the Mountain Time Zone. And don't forget the Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend presented by Mountain Land Supply Company is going to be on Friday and Saturday. Both nights will be Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend. The Grizzlies will wear specialty jerseys for the occasion. We hope to have a big crowd for all 3 games of this upcoming homestand. Until then, I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is. We'll talk to you on Wednesday night on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.